fella. 19 points to wait in here. His microphone's down. Yeah, fantastic. Dean Hallertau, as Jake Simpkin mentioned there, they're away to the Gold Coast Titans at Robina Sunday, 2 o'clock, and the Cowboys are away to the Dolphins at Lang Park. That's the Sunday 4 o'clock game. Then they've got the Broncos, so a couple of big derbies coming up for those Queensland sides. And the Cowboys now improved to 10 wins, 7 losses, sitting in 8th as we currently speak. Who are your 3 best players tonight?
Yeah, 1 point, I'm going Braden Burns, the winger for the Cowboys. I thought he was very elusive all game, 190 running metres, obviously a couple of tries. The fashion in which he scored those tries was outstanding. For 2 points, I'm going to go Tom Trbojevic from the Seagulls. I thought he was their biggest threat tonight. A couple of try assists for him and a couple of line breaks, I should say, 168 running metres, and they're constantly challenging the Cowboys' defence. I think he's worked himself into some good form again. And then for 3 points, I can't go past the man who sealed the victory in Scott Drinkwater. Throughout the game, he's just popping up on both sides of the ruck, really creating some good opportunities for his teammates. 6 tackle breaks, 1 line break assist, 2 try assists, and obviously that game-winning field goal. So a big game from the Cowboys fullback.
So 3 Drinkwater, 2 for
Tom Trbojevic.
I was paying attention to most.
And 1 for Braden Burns.
Thank you, Shop. 4 tries apiece here. Jason Saab, Lehigh Hopewadi, Hamoli Olakawatu, and Saab scored his 2nd try in that second half. It was, as I said, a 14-6 halftime scoreline. And for the Cowboys, Braden Burns crossed twice in the second half, as you mentioned. Tom Chester, the first try scorer of the game, and the man we heard from, Ruben Cotter, scoring a remarkable try to level things up for the Cowboys late in proceedings here. So 19-18 their win. That means the Seagulls have that little winning streak at home broken. So I think that's their first loss at home since Kieran Foran has come in. So since Anthony Seibold was given the flick. And their 1000th win goes begging, Shop. So we'll see if that happens next week, at least the overall 1000 wins at Robina next week. Thank you to you. Thank you to MC. Thank you. We'll stick around, by the way, on local digital radio for those staying with us. Otherwise, the footy continues in Melbourne very soon. Thank you to Tegan Nichols, our tech. Thank you to Ronelle Moa for her marathon shift in the studio. And to you, most importantly, for your efforts and listening to us right across the weekend. 1 game still to come in Melbourne, where the Storm take on the Titans. As we say, very good evening once again to Ryan Hoffman alongside this man, Ned Hall.
Welcome to those of you just joining us now from Brookvale Oval after the Cowboys got up against the Manly Sea Eagles there in Golden Point, 19 points to 18. Welcome to Amy Park in Melbourne, where it's the Melbourne Storm about to take on the Gold Coast Titans. I'm Ned Hall. Alongside me is Ryan Hoffman, and Ian Cohen is down on the sideline. There's fireworks being shot up into the sky, which is thankfully clear at the moment, having had a fair amount of rain falling earlier on this evening. But the fans who are sitting away to our right as well will be pleased with the fireworks and the flames being burst out of little machines behind the goalpost there, because it is a little fresh inside Amy Park this evening. I just mentioned there's a lot of people out on the field here tonight as well to welcome the players out there. Ian Cohen, I know he's very diligently just been going out to find out exactly who. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, Cozen, with trying to find out who it was today, but there's a lot of people out on the field today.
Yes, you're right, Ned. Good evening to you and good evening to Hoffy. It's a mixture of sponsors and also some of the key members as well getting an opportunity out there. So they're getting their feet a little wet. It is a little wet underfoot at the moment, but look, conditions are great. And you talk about Hayden Watson, Geelong born. So Victorian born. I know he's done a lot of stuff in Queensland and everything else, but Victorian born, and of course Dean Jeremiah, who comes back also Victorian born as well.
Add him to the list.
Yeah, it's once again Queenslanders taking someone else from Queensland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Add it to the list. Add that one to the list.
Very happy. Former New South Wales player Ryan Hoffman alongside me after State of Origin, done for the season with a victory for New South Wales. Here it's the Melbourne Storm and the Gold Coast Titans, and obviously we have a few Queenslanders out on the field tonight. Harry Grant on the bench, Trent Liero starting for the Storm, and Tino Fasuamaleaui leading the way for the Gold Coast Titans. Just waiting for the teams to come out on the field. I thought I'd wait for all the listeners to be here before we run through the team lineups this evening, because there have been a few late tweaks for the Melbourne Storm. They line up with Suafaulonga at fullback. On the wings today, Will Warbrick and Sualangi Tumalatu Brown, who comes in to replace Mario Wateri. In the centres, the returning pair of Jack Howarth and Nick Meaney. And then at 5'8", Tyron Wishart steps up off the bench. And then Jerome Hughes at halfback. The front row, Stefano Utwikamanu, Trent Tolau and Josh King. In the second row, Cooper Clark and Joe Chan, and Trent Liero starts at lock. And then the rest of the bench, we have got Alec McDonald, Jack Hetherington, Josiah Pahulu, Oren Kelly, and then also Hayden Watson on there as well. For the Gold Coast Titans, it's Keanu Kinney. Dean Jeremiah making his Titans debut tonight. Hasn't played in the NRL since round 26, 2024, when he was playing for the Melbourne Storm. In the centres, Jojo Fafita and AJ Brimson, who plays his 150th game in the NRL tonight. And on the other wing, it is Philip Sammy. Their halves, Jaden Campbell and Zane Harrison. Mo Fotuaika, Oliver Pascoe and Fasua Malaawi in the front row. Arama Howe, Bo Firma and Chris Randall in the back row. And their bench, Curtis Moran, Josh Paxton, Cleese Haas, Cooper Bai returns from a concussion, Sam Verrills and Jalen de Groot. That's the way that the Gold Coast Titans line up tonight, as we're waiting for the teams to make their way out onto the field here and get the banner held up. This has all gone quiet around before they get a bit of akadaka blasted around the ground at Amy Park, and the lights flashing on and off. As you say, it's not the biggest crowd in here tonight, hopefully on this Sunday night, but as you say, it's not a great time slot for a lot of people in Melbourne.
No, it's not, but there's certainly building a bit of atmosphere here tonight for the teams to finish off the round.
Even Titans fall when the Storm hits is their big sign on the banner that's being held up at the end of that long tunnel. The great and good gathered out on the field here tonight as we wait for the players to make their way out onto the field. As we mentioned, the Melbourne Storm, in their last few, they lost against Manly in their last actual outing, had the bye last weekend, as did the Gold Coast Titans, who make their way out in front of us now in their yellow shoulders, light blue bottom half of the shirt, white shorts and light blue socks. So a strange old shirt they wear, the Gold Coast Titans, before the purple of the Melbourne Storm about to come running out of the tunnel now. Gold Coast Titans, incidentally, very up and down, as we mentioned. They've won 2 of their last 4. They've actually only won 2 of their last 9, and only 4 wins all season for them. So those 2 wins have come in reasonably close proximity. That great win that they had against the Brisbane Broncos, with some magic from Keanu Kinney to win the match for them right at the death, and a win against albeit slightly understrength Penrith Panthers, but any win you get against the Panthers is always harder. And the Storm man goes running out of the tunnel, and the Storm players are walking up the race just behind him before being led out onto the field of play. And Harry Grant is leading the players out onto the field. We've all got young mascots walking out alongside them as they head onto the field through the flames and the smoke for what's a vital, important game for the Melbourne Storm. Keep their season alive. We'll be saying this a bit between now and the end of the season. Pretty much every time they step out there, it'll be a big, hard-earned 2 points. My calculation of 30 points to get into finals this year is generally what it's been over the past few years. So for the Melbourne Storm, can only really afford to drop 3 matches. Now, officials here tonight, we've got Phil Henderson and Matt Neuer running the touches. Ashley Klein is in the bunker, and Tyson Bruff is on debut in the NRL as our official in charge here tonight. A good link with the ABC as well. His dad Rob, well known as a Channel 7 newsreader up in Brisbane, also worked for ABC Sport back in the 1980s, and apparently the NRL has flown the whole family down here to be here to watch him officiate here on debut tonight in the NRL. So a big moment for him too, Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, it's always exciting when someone makes a debut, and especially for a referee, because there's only a handful of them that they use throughout the season. So tremendous effort for Tyson. Good luck tonight.
He's refereed 199 games in the Queensland Cup, and he's refereed an NRLW match as well, but this is his first chance to be the lead man in the middle for the NRL, and we are underway. Nick Meaney kicks it downfield, and the Titans let that ball bounce. Bounces out towards that right-hand touchline before popped out into the hands on the wing of Dean Jeremiah. Good first early touch for him to come bursting in with the ball, and now Titans take the ball up over the 20-metre line in centre field here. Melbourne Storm and the Gold Coast Titans. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport. Up over the 30-metre line in centre field. Oliver Pascoe, their hooker, in at dummy half. He pops the ball away to his left and carried strongly by Mo Fotuaika, 10 short of the halfway line. Ball moved off to the left once again, in towards Jaden Campbell. His elusive running takes a little bit of dragging down, eventually brought to ground by the Melbourne Storm. And Trent Tolau gets him to the turf, thrown back it goes towards Zane Harrison. He kicks, hangs it high in the air. Farlongo underneath it, takes it cleanly, pops it off to his right, and Will Warbrick goes surging forward, takes it into the line, goes down centre field, 10 metres out from the Melbourne Storm line. A minute gone, no score between the Storm and the Titans. Off to the left they go, carrying the ball towards the 20-metre line. 3 Titans players involved in the tackle. Tolau at dummy half, pops it away to his right once again, carried forward by Jack Howard now in centre field. He's tackled, brought to ground. Tolau at dummy half, goes right once again into the hands of the Melbourne Storm, moving it forward there. Trent Liero, good early carry for the Queensland Origin man. Off to the right they go. Hughes through the hands, goes in towards Nick Meaney, and he's brought to ground. Ball played by Tolau to Jared Hughes on the last. Drops out towards the touchline. He was tumbling away and sprinting across. Keanu Kinney did really well to get there, sliding in on his knees, and he takes the tackle, and the Titans have the ball on their own 30-metre line, 10 metres in from the left-hand touchline. Ryan Hoffman.
Very pleasing start for the Gold Coast Titans. They got great field position off their first set of 6. It was Jaden Campbell running the football, his first opportunity. That's what the Titans want to see from him. They want him testing out the Melbourne Storm right edge, who has had some question marks throughout this year. So the more times Jaden Campbell can run the ball at the line, the better the Titans will be.
Moving up towards the halfway line now, the Gold Coast Titans, just shy of the Storm territory, popped away to the right now. Good ball popped into the hands by the hooker Oliver Pascoe, and just brought down 15 in from touch, right-hand side of the field from Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Harrison it is with the kick on the last, hangs it up, it's a little short, it's allowed to bounce, it takes a very favourable bounce for the Melbourne Storm, and Sua Fa'alongo, he's running sideways at the moment, goes cross-field, he's actually been pulled down a couple of metres out from just in front of the Melbourne Storm try line and the posts, and popped away to the right, up towards Nick Meaney. He takes the contact 12 metres out from the Storm line. No score here, 3 minutes in. Storm and Titans here on NRL Sport. Brought down just shy of the 20-metre line. Melbourne Storm, Tolau dummy half, goes to his right, pops it across into the hands of Chan. He's released, still staying on his feet. Tolau now off to his left, going through the hands once again. Trent Liero almost ran into Utri Kamanu, who's hands on the ball in these early stages of the match so far. He's brought down 30 metres out, and again on the last, struggling to get a bit of territory downfield. The ball punted deep by Tyron Wishart, caught on the 30-metre line. Kinney goes dancing his way towards the line, a one-handed offload away to his left, and keeping the ball nicely alive, then across on the left edge of the field, carrying it nicely forward, and just eventually being brought down then was Philip Sammy. He's in a hot run of try-scoring form, Philip Sammy. Scored in his last 4 matches. Dummy half now, popped away to the right. Jaden Campbell brought down 30 metres out. 20 in from touch, left-hand side of the field for the Titans. Good early position for them. Goes to the hands of Randall. Randall pops it away to the right to Fotuaika. Fotuaika stopped, stays on his feet. 4 tackles gone in the set. Looking to move it to the left now. Through the hands it goes. Off to, oh lovely, out the back of the hand pass, but it's gone forward from Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. He stood, he pivoted, he popped the ball away, and it was nicely picked up and carried out over the line by Jaden Campbell. But straight away, referee Tyson Brough blew the whistle.
Yeah, the ball did go forward, but great little bit of skill there by Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Just couldn't hold his run there, Jaden Campbell, to be able to get across the line. But I tell you what, it's been an impressive start by the Titans. They're running really direct, a lot more direct than the Melbourne Storm. They make great field position, and they're backing up their good field position with a good defensive set. Melbourne Storm are finding it hard to get out of their 40.
Scrum for the Storm. Ball pumped off to the left, and they've just got out over the 10-metre line, but again, not making a lot of progress downfield. Ball popped into centre field. Cooper Clark with the carry, gets it up to the 20-metre line, but again, good solid defence from the Gold Coast Titans. Tolau away to his right. Utri Kamanu pops the player off straight away in the first contact there. It was Chris Randall who went backpedaling away from the big New South Wales front rower. Played left by Tolau, cutting back across infield and almost squirming out of a tackle then. Melbourne Storm eventually brought down 10 shy of halfway. Tolau in at dummy half. onto Hughes. Hughes through the hands to Wishart. Wishart out towards far longer. It was up over his shoulder. He did well to catch onto that one-handed. Oh, he's got away from 1-2 tackles, dancing his way over the halfway line. 10 metres inside the Titans' territory on the last. They move it right. Wishart with the kick. Hangs this one high in the air. Waiting underneath this one is Keanu Kinney. Steps out away from the first tackle. Oh, he's found some space down the right-hand touchline. Accelerates, bursting forward. Eventually brought down 30 metres out and directly almost in line with Ian Cohen down on the sideline.
Great atmosphere down here, Ned, but I would expect a small crowd, maybe around 12,000 might be in the house, given the Sunday night and school holidays finishing up tonight as well.
Titans with the ball. Scoreless here, 6 minutes gone. Gold Coast Titans up to the halfway line. Solid start by the Queenslanders so far. Pascoe, dummy half, goes left to Campbell. Campbell just on the overlap is Bo Firmer. He looked to try and get the offload away then to AJ Brimson, but took the tackle instead. Pascoe away to the right, through the hands to Campbell. To Harrison, stopping and taking the tackle and just burrowing into the ground then. Nowhere to go, so Keanu Kinney decided to take the tackle. Goes right now on the last to Harrison. Harrison, again, it's a shallow kick out towards the touchline. It's actually been caught by Eremaya on the right-hand touchline. Thrown back inside and stolen back by the Melbourne Storm, and just standing in the right place at the right time. Cooper Clark was in the loitering around in the Titans line.
Yeah, it was good work by Cooper Clark. He put the kick pressure on. They kept himself busy getting back on side, got in between to snuff out that play by the Titans. Look, the Titans have come down ready to play football tonight. They look a bit faster than the Melbourne Storm, and as I say, they're running a lot more direct.
Pushkin with a straight run this time, getting up over the halfway line for the Melbourne Storm. Remember, you can get in touch via the SMS 0467 920 222. If you want to send a message during the commentary this evening, Trent Taylor, one-handed pick up at dummy half, gives it to Jerome Hughes, hangs the ball high in the air, Kinney underneath it, Warbrick coming through, and Will Warbrick almost pinched the ball away. It's then gone. Knock on against the Melbourne Storm, I think, is the original call there. He was challenging for the ball in the air, Warbrick, against the much shorter Kinney, but he's given the decision now, I think, in favour of the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, he sort of tapped the ball back, Will Warbrick, and I think far longer just made a bit of an error as he went to pick it up. Okay, look, the Melbourne Storm a couple of weeks ago, it was a Will Warbrick-a-thon and putting up the high ball and going to contest it. Jerome Hughes' first couple of kicks have been way too shallow. He needs to get a bit more height, just like the one he just did there, to allow Will Warbrick to make a challenge to it.
6 tries in the last 4 matches for Will Warbrick. He scored in each of the last 4 matches. Good evening to Greg on the Murray River as well, saying hope you had an awesome weekend. Here's to the Titans upsetting this game. Quick shout out to my mate in Queensland, on Dullaman. Good evening to you, Greg. But if you upset this weekend, tipping hasn't been fantastic, I've got to say, across the board so far. I noticed I was 2 out of 7 in the ABC tipping competition so far, and I've gone up. And I think that was purely because of my margin being slightly better, but goes to show that I'm not the only one who's struggling this weekend. Meanwhile, Titans have the ball at 5 short of halfway. Mo Fotuaika with the ball at dummy half. It's popped away into centre field. Quick hands from Fasu Malaawi out towards Bo Former on the left-hand touchline. Half catching him around the ankles. He's got up again and kept going. Ball wasn't down on the ground. Tackle wasn't completed. Titans have the ball with Pascoe at dummy half. Goes through the hands into Fotuaika. 10 metres inside the Storm half. 20 in from touch. 3 tackles gone in the set. Pascoe dummy half to the right, and it's been lost cold then by Zane Harrison in centre field. Just had his eye on the advancing Melbourne Storm defensive line. There's a bit of push and shove taking place around where the ball was lost on the floor, but an unforced error then, probably Achilles heels for the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, that's a young player's error there. He was just looking at what he was going to do before he actually caught the football. He looked like he was in the process of trying to step inside as he was trying to catch. Just took his eyes off the bill. He's been impressive, St. Harrison, when he's played. I think it's his 6th or 7th NRL game. He'll shake that off and learn from that.
Yeah, very talented young halfback. Titans got very big raps of him. He's already shown his quality on a few occasions this season. That win against the Panthers came off his boot as ball coming forward. That looks high from Jaden Campbell on Will Warbrick, who pulled up short. No malice involved in that at all, but it's a penalty in favour of the Melbourne Storm. A chance for them to kick it out over the sideline. And here around the grounds, as 2 AFL games have been, well, one's just finished and one's still going. The Brisbane Lions 94 leading Essendon 13. I'm sure Ian Cohen on the sideline would be delighted to know, if he didn't already, that the Melbourne Demons beat the Tigers 116-65 in the AFL this afternoon. As the ball is now played from Tola at dummy half. On he goes to Wishart, straightening run then by Cooper Clark. Gets up to the 30-metre line for the Melbourne Storm. Slap bang in the centre of the field. Still scoreless here. 10 gone at Amy Park. On to Josh King now. Cuts across to the left-hand side. He's still crabbing Sabres a bit. He's brought down just short of the 20-metre line. 15 in from touch on the left of the field. Tolau to Wishart. Goes back to Hughes. Hughes to Farlongo. Farlongo looks for a gap in the line. Tries to sprint forward. Tried to pop the ball away then to Nick Meaney. A pass that I'm not really sure could have been on there. There were so many Titans players around, and eventually the ball has been lost. He popped that ball away. It was actually Philip Sammy took the ball on, and the ball has gone now to the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, he sort of flicked the ball on to Nick Meaney. It's a bit of a no-look pass. I don't think Nick Meaney was expecting it. And then in the follow-up tackle, Farlongo just collected Kinney high. Nothing major. Penalty sufficient.
Kicked out over the sideline and tapped from Grimson. Carried forward now by Bo Former, who's rolled onto his back on the 30-metre line. 10 in from touch on the left-hand side of the field. Titans starting again then from here. We're going to get the first points on the board with just over 11 minutes gone here at Amy Park. Thrown right by Pascoe. Pascoe through the hand, he goes to Harrison. Harrison pops the ball back to Jojo Fafita. Solid Origin series for him on his Origin debut this year. And that's a huge hit then from Cooper Clark on Mo Fodawaker. The big front rower rocked back by that challenge from Cooper Clark. Entirely fair as well.
Yeah, it was Trent Liero actually. He came out of the line and he gave Tino, his Queensland teammate, a big gobful out of it. It wasn't Tino that he hit.
That was a huge shot then from Trent Liero. As the ball's gone back off the hand of the New South Wales player, who's Storm player then in Joe Chan, and Storm keep hold of the ball 20 metres out from their own goal line in centre field. Jerome Hughes goes left, 2 tackles gone in the set. Oh, it's a beautiful dummy through the line. Is Tyrone Wishart. He's got Kinney to beat on the halfway line. Oh, he stumbled slightly as he tries to cut back inside to allow the defenders to get back, but he's still going. He's weaving through across to the left. Can he get a team-ended support? He gets it onto Howarth, and Howarth's brought down now 15 metres out from the line. They've got players away to the right though. A little kick in behind the line. Will Warbrick all on his own, catches the ball, runs in field, dives to the ground, and the try is then signalled by Joe Chan, who's pointing to the spot as Wilbrick slides across in front of him. All of that then from the Melbourne Storm, unlocked by the magic from Tyrone Wishart, and the Storm hit the board first here in Melbourne. 13 minutes gone. The try to Will Warbrick, who keeps up that great try-scoring run of form. It's the Melbourne Storm 4, Gold Coast Titans 0. Kick to come.
Yeah, great passage to play by the Melbourne Storm, started by Tyrone Wishart. They should know the Titans. Tyrone Wishart gets paid by the dummy. He will throw dummies all day. He got Zane Harrison there with a perler. He did well just to sum it up nicely, because there was a few options coming through. He bumped off a couple of tackles, got the ball inside to Jack Howard, and then Jerome Hughes, he showed class, he showed quality, really composed, knew he had the Titans at 6s and 7s. Will Warbrick was standing there on the try line with the touch judge next to him. All he had to do was get it to him, pinpoint kick. Great try, Melbourne.
Superb try then, and Nick Meaney will try and add the extras, but Ian Cohen, great start from the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, absolutely it was, and as soon as Jerome Hughes got it, Will Warbrick was doing the YMCA down this sideline. He was saying, kick it at me, kick it at me, kick it at me! He couldn't believe how much open territory he had, and in the end he was able to get halfway back to the sticks as well to make Nick Meaney's job a little bit easier. But Will Warbrick, ominous sort of form, I would have thought.
7 in 5 now, 16 for the season from Will Warbrick. Nick Meaney to try and add the extras. He's about 16 metres out from the goal line, 10 metres in from touch on the right-hand side of the field. Steps forward, strikes it nicely, raises the flags, and it's 6-0 here with a touch over 14 minutes gone at Amy Park this evening.
It's important for the Titans that they shouldn't lose faith. They shouldn't lose. Just one defensive error that got the Melbourne Storm down. They're playing really well, the Titans. They're defending well, and they're running straight. They just need to keep going what they're doing and believe in the system that they've started with.
Absolutely. 0467 920 222. Evening to Derek Annan. Say Neddy, Rhino and Iano, hoping for some more Queensland winning love after the State of Origin up here on the Fraser Coast. Well, that's all the Queensland Origin players that are featuring here. No New South Wales players out there at the moment. Stefano Utrikamano playing for New South Wales last year, not so much this year. Just waiting a little delay here to get the game restarted because Jaden Campbell's waiting for his kicking tee to be brought out to him. It's all the way down the other end of the ground. Campbell waiting to take the kick off. Phil still not quite happy without the ball set on the kicking tee on the halfway line.
They're precious kickers.
I was going to say, it's like he's going to kick the winning points of the match. Zutra Kamani has the carry. Tyron Wishart caught the ball off kick-off and he pops it infield. Still pumping his legs and going forward then, but I think Tyson Bruff's going to send him back. He kept walking forward then, Utri Kamani, but sending him back to the mark. Toll out. Throws it infield and Trent Arrow carries the ball forward up towards the 30-metre line. Little hands on the back then, and you hear the clear count of 6 more. Tino Fasumalaawi again on his Queensland teammate Trent Arrow, just leaning in then, and so 6 more tackles for the Melbourne Storm. Up towards the 40-metre line, thrown back in field by Tyron Wishart. Cooper Clark carries the ball forward. Looks to get up and take it. He's lost the ball forward then. I'm not sure if they're going to challenge this because I think he thought that Fasumalaawi might have been a bit high in the contact then as he went to ground Cooper Clark and lost the ball.
Yeah, no, he just planted that on the ground. Was in a bit of a rush. He just trying to plant the ball down and just lost it. That was a loose carry by Cooper Clark. Bit of a rookie error. We saw a rookie error earlier with Zane Harrison. We're seeing another one there with Cooper Clark. Sometimes in these conditions, you just got to play the ball properly rather than quickly.
So it's off the first point of the match for the Melbourne Storm. It's now the Gold Coast Titans to start this set inside the Storm half with a scrum first in centre field. They move it across to the left. Straightening run there by Philip Sammy, and it looked like this time there was slightly high contact on him as Joe Chan came in with Trent Tolau. I think Joe Chan being called out for that one. So another opportunity here for Jaden Campbell to kick the ball down in towards the corner. He's taking the tap. Throws it in towards Fasumalaawi. Him and Trent Arrow have been going over each other all night.
I don't know what happened. Were they roomies in camp or something? Something happened there. Someone took someone's pillow.
Lined him up and went straight forward, then Fasumalaawi. But Titans have the ball now, 30 metres out, 20 metres in for the right-hand touchline. 17 minutes gone. In the first half on, straight through the line. Gold Coast Titans, they're running through the line. It was Bo Fermor. They move the ball to the right now. Into hands it goes, thrown across the line to Randall. Then brought down about 10 shy of the goal line here, the Gold Coast Titans. Pascoe at dummy half, waiting to play the ball, and more ruck infringement. Goes to the hands, and Randall straightens up just under the posts. So 6 more tackles for the Gold Coast Titans. Slow to play this. Pascoe feinted right, goes left, throws it into the hands of Fermor. Fermor takes the tackle, gets the ball away, and then scurrying, trying to get through the line, getting a little offload away. Brought down just short of the line. On the overlap then Kinney through the hand. A Mo Fodawaker bounces over from a fraction short of the line with nobody on him. There was a vast gap in front of him. The ball pops into his hands, and all he had to do was topple over the line, plant the ball, and the Gold Coast Titans hit straight back. It's 6-4 with a kick to come right next to the uprights.
The danger man we spoke about at the start of the game was Keanu Kinney. Did a great job just following through the middle off the back of a Bo Fermor offload. It was a good tackle by Fa'alongo to pull him up short, but he got the quick play the ball, and the young hooker did a tremendous job. Pascoe did a great job to get the ball to Mo Fodawaker. It was just a matter of numbers. Wishart went for the intercept, but he was no hope. Good job, the Tides. They didn't go into their shell after scoring points, after conceding points. They kept playing football and they got the rewards.
And this will be, you'd think, a fairly routine addition of the extras here for the Gold Coast Titans. Ian Cohen down on the sidelines. That's a decent response from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, certainly a really good response from the visitors, and they need to have it because it was the last time they won here was 2014. So they've certainly got history against them at the moment.
So stepping forward, Jaden Campbell routine stuff, slaps it between the sticks, and it's all square here once again. 21 minutes left in the first half here. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport. Melbourne Storm 6, Gold Coast Titans 6 at Amy Park, the final match of the weekend. Earlier we've just seen the Cowboys winning Golden Point against Manly at Brookvale Oval, and earlier this afternoon the world's biggest birthday party taking place at Stadium Australia in South Sydney got it done for Jai Arrow, winning by 26 points to 4. Brandon Smith picking up the 3 points in that one incidentally, David Fafita 2 and Matt Dufty the 1. Reminder, you can send us an SMS 0467 920 222 if you want to get in touch. Good evening to you, Dion. Nice message from you as well, saying to hear your voices again and enjoy commentating the game. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Dion. You can get in touch with us wherever you like through the evening. Incidentally, in the AFL 94-13, Brisbane now leads Essendon as the hit up taken from the kickoff just short of the 20-metre line for the Gold Coast Titans. Ball thrown back to centre field and Fasua Malaawi hits the line hard. He's brought down 3 Storm players in the tackle. Joe Chan last one off him, moving away to the right. Pascoe tried to pick up and dart from dummy half, but Chan wrapped him up quickly just over the 30-metre line. Thrown right by Chris Randall at dummy half. Pascoe steps in there as well. 4 tackles gone in the set. They go left. Fasua Malaawi with a bit of a run up, hits the line hard and gets just into the Storm half. 6 points all the score. Solid performance from the Titans so far. Kick downfield, hangs high in the air from Campbell. Warbrick underneath it. He climbs high, climbs on his own, but he's put straight on his back as he lands on the ground. We're going to see, I believe, Ian Card, an early change coming up for the Melbourne Storm.
Yes, Harry Grant. There'll be a big cheer when Harry Grant comes onto the ground. You'll hear it shortly.
There he goes in the background, Harry Grant with the headgear on, and Trent Tolau taking out the first 20 minutes of the match. Promoted into the starting hooker's position, Melbourne Storm to kick downfield. And that's incredible stuff. Straight onto the field, and that's an attempted 40-20, which almost made it, if not for the quick thinking from Keanu Kinney. And he's there making the tackle, Harry Grant. Well, he looks fresh. First time he gets hands on the ball, he goes for a 40-20 with his very first touch of the ball.
Yeah, because he got up and wasn't sure who to pass it to, so he just kicked it and nearly came away with a 40-20. Big play on the third tackle, definitely caught Keanu Kinney unawares.
Got back and recovered well, but the Titans with the ball now, moving the ball away to the right, cutting in off that right-hand touchline. The Titans brought down 15 in from touch, 15 short of halfway. Ball back into centre field for the Titans up towards the halfway line. Another strong carry forward. Through the hands it goes to Campbell. Campbell kicks downfield, hangs it high in the air, and again it's to Will Warbrick. This time though, he's got no one near him. Catches, sets, throws on to Farlongo, who skips one way, skips the other, weaves through a couple of challenges. They still haven't brought him down and still haven't properly wrapped him up, but eventually they do. 10 in from touch, right-hand side of the field as the ball is thrown on now in towards Nick Meaney. Gets away from the challenge of Fasua Malaawi. Now he's brought down 15 in from touch on the right-hand side of the field for the Storm. Good, strong run forward then by Will Warbrick. Good carry from him. Eventually wrapped up by 3 Titans players. Harry Grant at dummy half goes to his left. 18 minutes left in the half. 6 points all the score. Goes to the hands of Farlongo. On to Howarth. Howarth cutting infield. He's brought down 35 metres out. Harry Grant at dummy half again. 3 tackles gone in the set. Oh, it's just gone in behind Twickamane. No, he got a touch on that, so he's gone forward. Looked like it was slightly behind. It wasn't.
Nah, that's a straight draw. I just think Melbourne Storm are just playing a bit too deep. They're playing a bit too much depth. They need to get a bit flatter with the dummy half and play a bit more over the advantage line. The Titans are defending them too easily.
It's a scrum in the centre of the park, 30 metres out from the Titans goal line. Simon in Melbourne has been in touch as well, saying if the Storm win, it'll be their 500th win of 753 games, which, this is the potentially today, I wanted to jinx it too much, the 500th win in the NRL for the Melbourne Storm. Bit of work to do yet, though. It's 6 points all with 17 minutes left in this first half. Carried forward now by Gold Coast Titans up towards halfway. All met in the tackle then by Firma. Pushed back 10 short of halfway. Into centre field he goes. Fasua Malaawi quickly through the hands, away to his right. Fodawaker, the try scorer for the Titans, just held up then. Thrown on now to the right. Jaden Campbell dancing his way into the line before he's brought down. Jojo Fafita stands in a dummy half. Waves Pascoe away. Throws the ball into centre field. Through the hands it goes again towards the left for the Titans just brought down just outside the 30-metre line. On the last, Pascoe with the ball. He throws back into Harrison. Zane Harrison hangs it high in the air, coming forward for it. Farlongo. Oh, it's been caught by the Titans, kept alive. It went backwards. They're keeping it alive still. Now it's with Philip Sammy. Philip Sammy does an amazing pop out the back of his hand. They're trying to keep the ball through the line. Oh, it's been fumbled by the Storm, and they crash over and score. Well, that was an absolute catalogue of errors there all around. It looked like they'd given up the ball then, the Gold Coast Titans, taking the ball into the line. Philip Sammy pops the ball out the back of his hands. They kick through the line. Farlongo had it. It squirmed free, and then Harrison goes over and plants it. But the referee is saying, I think, no try at his first look. See if we're listening to what the referee has to say in the bunker.
Leading up to this, the ball is knocked backwards by Harry Grant. This restarts the tackle count.
Pascoe loses it, I think.
Position is then maintained. Contact is clear by Jerome Hughes.
See Hughes going to make his tackle. Did he lose it as he goes to ground? Pascoe. Or as he goes to ground, it's squirted free, and he's not grounded that.
The ball's clearly up at this stage. He then loses possession.
It's an interesting one because he fell over the line, and had he got the point of the ball planted, would have been a try.
It would have. That's a
The ball initially travels backwards. Getting backwards at this stage in relation to travelling back over the try line.
So he's just...
He then hand touches it, knocks it forward in the field of play. We have a decision.
Yeah. They got lucky there, the Melbourne Storm, I tell you. They got really lucky. It was good work by Harry Grant to get across and actually get a hand on that ball, but he did fumble it. But there's alarm bells on the fifth tackle for the Melbourne Storm, because that's a couple of times the Titans have got the ball back with a couple of offloads.
Yeah, that was a bizarre little pass to play then. Harry Grant actually was great work from him on the floor in the end. It fumbled it and managed to pat it backwards, although almost fell into the grasp of Oliver Pascoe to go over and score the try. As it is, remains 6 points all. 16 minutes left to go in the first half here at Amy Park. Melbourne Storm and the Gold Coast Titans here on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Ned Hall, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen with you in commentary as the ball's carried up towards the 30-metre line. Back in from Grant at dummy half to Utwikamanu. It's a better run. Strong run to get 10 short of halfway. Picks it up, goes off to his left towards King. King pushed sideways by the Titans players, but he stays on his feet. Harry Grant goes right. Utwikamanu hits the line hard again and brings a couple down with him on the last tackle now. The Melbourne Storm, they go right. Hughes hangs one in the air. Will come down around the 10-metre line. Keanu Kinney takes it up around his shoulder, but takes it cleanly before going to ground. So the Titans will start deep back in their own half. 15 minutes left in this first half.
There's been a noticeable change by the Melbourne Storm ever since Harry Grant's come back on the field. They're a lot more direct and running a lot straighter, and they're getting a lot more metres. Started off by Tuamalo to Brown, and also Jack Howarth coming in off the fringes there to be able to just run a bit faster and get in behind the ruck of the Titans as Cooper Bye on the field.
Bye's been great for them, obviously very strong links to the Melbourne Storm. There's Dad Marcus, and then only 19 years of age. Oh, that's a good strong tackle in centre field then from the Melbourne Storm to smash Curtis Morin onto his back. The ball kicked downfield now by Harrison, hangs it high in the air and walking in towards it and taking it cleanly over there. Tumalatu Brown, who I've liked to mention so far. I don't think he's had a chance to get the ball in hand and run with it yet, but fielded that one well and carried it forward. And now cutting infield is Jack Howarth. He goes to ground, 20 in from touch, left-hand side of the field, 35 metres out from the Storm line. A strong carry up towards halfway for the Melbourne Storm from Alec McDonald. Off to the right they go. Hughes through the hands to Meany. Meany just fends off AJ Brimson. Eventually goes to ground. 10 metres inside the Titans half. 4 tackles got in the set. An early kick from Harry Grant into open space in behind Philip Sammy. It's wobbling its way out towards the touchline. He gets back. Oh, he's lost the ball. It's been picked up by Hughes and he couldn't take it cleanly. He lost it over the line. He's knocked it forward. There's the first knock on then from Philip Sammy. It looked like the Storm had been absolutely gifted a try then, but Jerome Hughes just couldn't couldn't quite grasp it cleanly.
I tell you what, things are happening around Harry Grant every time he does something. He noticed that Keanu Kinney was in there at marker, put the kick in behind, then chased, put the pressure on Sammy, and Jerome Hughes just couldn't get a clear catch. But first knock on by Sammy, Melbourne Storm, full set of 6 inside the Titans 20. It was try time for Hughes if he picked that up.
Watching him juggling it towards the line, he just couldn't quite get it under control. But as you say, not a bad result in the end off the back of some more quick thinking from Harry Grant. 6 points all the score, 13 and a half minutes left in the first half here. And Melbourne Storm take advantage of this great position. 10 metres out, dead in line with the posts. They win the scrum, popped out towards Farlongo. Fancy's taking the line on his own. He's got little support around him. He's brought down 5 metres out. Grant. That dummy half goes to his right. 6 more tackles being signalled by Tyson Brough, the referee. Cooper Clark with a strong carry towards the line. Wrestles himself free. Grant pops onto Liero. Liero cuts back in field, takes the tackle. Doesn't make much room forward. Still only 3 or 4 metres out from the line. Grant at dummy half. 2 tackles gone. Going right to Hughes. Quickly they were up on Hughes. It bounces back and Warbrick has to chase a long way back to get hold of the ball. He's 25 metres out from the line now, so they've lost a bit of ground here, the Melbourne Storm, but they've restarted the tackle count, so they start again 25 metres out. Alec McDonald carries it forward. McDonald brought to ground. Grant at dummy half goes left to Wishart. Wishart pops it short to Clark. Clark up to the 10-metre line, pumping his legs. Oh, he's still going towards the line with 3 Titans hanging off him. He's still going. They still haven't brought him down. Now plays the ball literally on the goal line, Cooper Clark. Ball thrown back towards Wishart. On to Hughes. Hughes dummies, throws it forward then to Farlongo. That pass I don't think was intended for him. He plucked it out of the air and he was hitting contact, lost it forward. But there's a penalty been signalled by Tyson Brough for the players being offside. I think got far enough back then.
Yeah, it was inside 10 metres, but that was a dead set hospital pass by Jerome Hughes. He put it too far out in front of Farlongo and he got absolutely crunched by Sammy, and the Storm were fortunate there. The Titans were inside the 10.
So just down in front of you, Ian Cohen, the headgears come off to a Farlongo now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start running a book, Ned, on when the headgear's coming off, because at this stage it's the 29-minute mark, but it could be at any time. But Zua wasn't happy with Jerome after that pass.
Not surprised, he got clattered then. Anyway, they've got a penalty, and it's been run forward by Liero. Slightly to the right of the uprights. Grant pops it short to McDonald. He's been driven back by 3 Gold Coast Titans players, but he stayed on his feet. 6 apiece is the score. Hughes pops it short and little dance and a run and into the line again, and making a lot of forward progress from towards the try line, the Melbourne Storm. Trent the air on that occasion. Grant through the hands to Wishart. Wishart, little feint and try to dart in towards the line. He's brought down a metre or so short of the line. 4 tackles gone in the set. Going left, quickly through the hands they go. Into Tumalatu Brown, pops it back in field. And does he plant the ball down there? At the second or third attempt, Jack Carroll thinks he's managed to slam that ball down. It was a bit scrappy, a bit messy. He was pushed up short. He fought back one way, rolled across to his right, then slams the ball down. He thinks he scored the try. On first impression, so does Tyson Brough. I'm sure they'll have a look at this to unpick it, Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, they do. It was great work by Jack Howarth. If he scores the try, it really came down to him. Beautiful tap on there to Tumalatu Brown, who I thought could have gone for the corner, but went the safe option, stepped inside, got a great offload back to Howarth, and he was certainly fought hard to get the ball on ground. He definitely got it on the ground. It's just whether or not he lost it within that time.
Good work from determined play from him. So he dives in, he falls on top of a couple of Titans players, tried to get it down there, just flung himself across to the right to get away from their bodies, and then slams the ball down.
It's just whether or not they say, because he's over the line, so you can't exactly say it was a double movement, can you?
No, well, if he hasn't put the ball down initially, then it's not.
It.
So yeah, it's I think that's past muster, and there'll be a chance here to extend the lead. Just waiting for final confirmation and try confirm. We haven't seen a lot so far. A lot of it's been down your wing, Ian Cohen, so far. The efforts from the Melbourne Storm, finally using the left-hand side and getting over for a try.
Yeah, certainly a good result for Howarth. Not so good for Cooper Bai. I saw his shoulder getting attended to a couple of minutes ago after that tackle of Sua Farlongo, but he's actually just gone down into the sheds now. So Cooper Bai is being assessed. His shoulder is an issue, left shoulder.
That's a real shame for Cooper Bai and the Titans, as I say, just back into the side, having had some concussions. concussion protocols to go through.
Yeah, hopefully the Cooper bias just to sting a bit of a nerve stir up, and he'll be back out there for the Titans.
Very talented player. This is swung in by Meany, goes to add the extras, and it's a great kick from out near the left-hand touchline. Swings it through between the posts and gets the Storm back out to a 6-point lead here. They lead by 12 points to 6 with 9 minutes left to go in the first half. Sunday NRL on ABC Sport. Ned Hall, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen with you this evening. And you can get in touch on 0467 920 222. Of course, we'll wrap up the whole of the round at the end of the broadcast today as well. And so all the matches from today and through the rest of the weekend too. Let's wait for Jaden Campbell to punt the ball downfield. We're about to see Oren Keeley come on as well off the bench for the Melbourne Storm. We talked about him a little earlier on, making the mid-season switch from the Dolphins. Keeley out onto the field now for the Melbourne Storm. Kick-off taken. Kick to the Melbourne left. Thrown in towards Josh King. Josh King takes it up. He's brought down 15 metres in from the left-hand touchline and 15 metres out from the goal line. 12-6 the score. 9 minutes to go until half-time. Melbourne Storm, can they build on that? Put themselves out to a lead here. Oh, Faulongo hits the line quickly, and again the dancing feet almost take him through. Eventually he's brought down 10 shy of halfway. Thrown to centre field to Trent Liero. Liero spins, knocked to ground, turns to play the ball. And again kicking early in that tackle count here. Harry Grant down towards that right-hand touchline. Oren Keeley giving chase. Keanu Kinney, he's also got the dancing feet up towards the line, but Harry Grant quickly wraps him up with support there from Alec McDonald. Again, going early in the count, Harry Grant. Looking very sharp tonight after his exertions in the State of Origin series, starting off the bench, getting a 20-minute breather at the start of this one, but now in the thick of the action here. 12-6 the score. Third tackle gone for the Titans up to the 30-metre line. They go to centre field once again. Carrying the ball into the line is Morin. Morin brought down. Pascoe at dummy half. Goes right. Heading up into the line and looking to get the arm free. That's fine. It's actually Keith Haas in there, looking to get that arm free before the ball's kicked downfield on the last. Underneath it, Chumalatu Brown hits the line hard, does well. 20 metres out from the Storm line is where the Melbourne Storm will start this set. Wishart at dummy half, pops it across to his left, brought down on the 30-metre line. Grant at dummy half now, back into centre field. Good strong run infield from Will Warbrick, who gets an arm free. He gets an offload away to Faulongo, steps up towards the line. He's got players across to his right. If he can get the ball free, they had a man or two overlap on the right-hand side. Eventually takes the tackle 5 shy of halfway. Gives it to Jerome Hughes, who thought he saw a gap as well and tried to accelerate through it. AJ Brimson quickly shut the gap. They're now driving him back over the halfway line. Call of held from referee Bruff. And Harry Grant at dummy half runs forward into the line, and on the last, going right, Jerome Hughes kicks downfield, hangs it in the air. Kinney comes up, and Warbrick got a hand in there. Has the ball been knocked forward? And in fact, it's been knocked forward from Will Warbrick. Is the call from the referee, but he just flung up a big arm then off just to try and distract Keanu Kinney.
Will Warbrick's adamant that he touched the football, and he's remonstrating with Harry Grant, trying to get him the challenge, which he will. I think they're saying he took out the kicker.
Coaster down on the sideline.
Yeah, just reporting that Jack Howarth has gone off with a Category 2. So after that try being scored in all that collision there, HIA assessment for Howarth.
A bit of a blow then for Jack Howarth, and a bit of a reshuffle again to the back line. But listen then to the captain's challenge.
The ball knocks it forward into Keanu Kinney. This is the knock-on the last tackle. The challenge will be successful. Gold Coast will play the ball.
It's going to be a knock-on against you. Still containing the challenge, but it's still going to be a knock-on, so it's going to be
yeah, I think the penalty was for the disruptor rule, which no one understands. But so Melbourne will retain the challenge because they were successful in saying it wasn't a disruptor. Yeah. But he knocked it on, so it'd be Titans football.
All right, stay there.
There you go.
Seems the correct result.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So the Titans played the ball 20 metres out from their own goal line. It's carried forward by Morin. Pascoe dummy half. Flies the ball infield and Can get up just over the 30-metre line. Playing the ball, moving across to the left, and Fodawaker a bit more on this left-hand side now, carries it up 10 shy of halfway. 3 tackles gone in the set. Pascoe with the ball. 6 to go until half-time. 12-6 in front, the Storm. Kinney goes with pace at the line again, just looking to see if there's a half gap there, but it's been closed up by Josh King. Thrown back to centre field to Harrison. Harrison, through the hands they go now. Thrown back from Campbell on towards Brimson. Brimson is opposite number 4, Meany. He brings him down 5 in from touch, right-hand side of the field. On the last, Pascoe. He gives it to Jaden Campbell. Campbell gets some good height on this one, hangs it high in the air. Warbrick to go underneath it. It's been batted back by Sammy. It's been knocked backwards. There's a chance for Brimson to go in. Oh, Brimson dives to the corner. I'm not sure he stayed in touch. There's no big celebration then from AJ Brimson. So close. I think a shake of the head from him. Close to scoring in his 150th.
Just out on the touchline, please.
Well, yeah, it's a great bit of skill there.
In all aspects of play.
He's put his foot on the line before he dives into the corner, AJ Brimson. I was going to say, you often see players trying to claim the try thinking they've got the ball down. There wasn't a huge amount of celebration from AJ Brimson. I think he knew.
No, he was adamant that he thought. I don't even think he put the ball down either. But so a bit of a reshuffle for the Melbourne Storm with Jack Howarth going off. Oren Keeley coming on for his Storm debut, gone to the right edge, and Joe Chan, who's playing on the right edge, has now gone to left centre.
So, carried forward by the Storm. 5 to go till half-time. They lead by a converted try. Ball back into centre field by the Storm up towards the 20-metre line, and carried forward once again by Chan. Trent Liero hitting the line towards the right-hand side of the field. He's lost the ball. Was it raked free? Yes, according to referee Tyson Bruff. So straight away gives the penalty in favour for a strip. As the Melbourne Storm, I'll be very grateful for that as we approach half-time, just to get some cheap metres downfield.
Yeah, they need to start playing the football in the Titans area with 5 minutes to go. If they can get another one, that will make life very hard for the Titans. For the Titans, I think they've got to keep spreading the football, especially to their right edge now with Joe Chan out there in the centres. They've got a big outside edge on the left there, the Melbourne Storm, but they wouldn't have played a lot together.
Ball thrown infield to McDonald, who manages to get the offload away to Grant, to Hughes. Back it goes to Wishart in centre field, just outside the 20-metre line. Stays on his feet in the tackle. Plays the ball. They go left. Grant pops it short to Josh King, looking to get his arm free. Decides against it in the end and takes the tackle just inside the 20. 15 in from touch. Just under 4 minutes till half-time. Thrown through the hands to Hughes, and that's a poor pass again without really looking. Oh, Philip Sammy's punted downfield. It's a foot race between Sammy and Fa'alongo. Fa'alongo gets there, knocks it back again, and Will Warbrick tidies up in the end, but all off the back of that misplaced pass that went in behind Fa'alongo, and the Storm start again, but it's broken play in centre field. Tyron Wishart taking the ball in up towards the halfway line. Melbourne Storm restart, but from a lot further back downfield, and that's a good run forward then by Oren Keeley. Good contact, crashing his way into Bo Firma. Takes the tackle. 10 into the Titans half. Carried forward by Trent Liero. Another solid contact for Liero.
He's been strong.
Really has. One of those backing up from Origin. Grant across to his left from Hughes. Hughes to Wishart. Onto Fa'alongo. There's a space on the left. Tuimatu Brown took him. He's had to cut back infield. Get away from the touchline. Takes the tackle. Goes to ground. On the last, the Melbourne Storm. 15 out. Just on the left-hand touchline. They go through the hands. Moving it to centre field. Grant to Hughes. Hughes with the kick. Hangs it high in the air. It's going to be attacked by Will Warbrick. Warbrick half knocks it back. Brimson gets hold of it. Takes the tackle. Goes forward off the hands of Will Warbrick. It'll be a Gold Coast Titans ball.
Yeah, good contest between Will Warbrick and Philip Sammy. They managed to isolate Sammy out there on the edge with 3 passes, but he went up really strong to the football. Good body contact. That's the way to handle such a good jumper like Will Warbrick. Big contact, Josh King.
Well, towards the right side, he's really has rattled him here as well. He's stayed down on the ground. It's Bo Firma, who's taking his time to get up from this one.
They can just knock the wind out of him a bit, because Oren Keeley went down low, and then Josh King came strong over the top.
Yeah, he's up on his feet again now.
Oh, that'll knock the wind out of you.
Keep an eye on that, but if there's any news from Mo Furbo is still standing with his hands on his knees as play resumes in the background. Mo Fodawaker with a carry. It's popped on now towards Kinney. Takes the ball into the line, just gets out over the 20-metre line. 2 to go till half-time. 12-6 the score in the Storm's favour against the Titans. Ball back into centre field, and Fasumala Awi goes through the hands, coming across to the left-hand side of the field. Moran cuts back towards his right, eventually goes down 10 shy of halfway. 4 tackles gone in the set. They move the ball away to the right again through the hands. It goes from Fodawaker. Bit of space out towards the right towards Fafita. Fafita, strong run forward. 15 into the Storm territory. 5 from touch on the right. On the last tackle, Harrison with the kick. He's hit a little late then by Harry Grant, who holds on to him. Faolongo takes the ball high in the air, goes to ground. Well managed all around then. As Faolongo plays the ball 5 from touch on the left-hand side of the touchline.
Yeah, strong tackle, strong catch there, from Faolongo. That was dangerous with a minute to go. The Titans would have got another set there. They would have sniffed a try.
So, just checking a couple of the SMSs, which we'll get to when we get to half-time in about a minute or so from now, as the ball played back by Harry Grant onto Liero. Trent Liero gets into the Gold Coast Titans half on the last. Going to the left is Grant, kicked high by Hughes. Coming in off that right wing, and good carry, charging infield, Dean Jeremiah. He goes to ground. A couple of Storm players holding him up. Storm leading 12-6. Titans looking to see if they can level things up in the remaining 20 seconds of this half. Still inside their own territory at the moment. AJ Brimson, good run from him, throws it wide though. Crossing to centre field. Eventually Paxton brought down, just shy of halfway. Going right through the hands of Pascoe to Harrison. Cutting back infield is Kinney. Gets an offload away for Jaden Campbell. Jaden Campbell weaves into a couple of passes. That's magic stuff. Gives it to Brimson. Brimson with a pass out the back of the hand. Oh, that would have been an outstanding try. But what great running from Jaden Campbell to get that ball away to Brimson. Looked like he was away. Brimson knew he wasn't going to make it to the line. He would have been on the last tackle before half-time to try the out the back of the hand option. The ball went to ground, and Melbourne survived with their 12-6 lead intact at the half-time break. But what skill and running that was then from Jaden Campbell and Keanu Kinney.
That just shows what the Titans can do. There was absolutely nothing happening there. It looks like both teams were just going to limp in to half-time. Jaden Campbell, quick off the mark, gets the offload away. Anything can happen. Look, they're going into half-time down 12 points to 6. They're going to go in quite confident because they've proven that they can break the Melbourne Storm line. Keanu Kinney, Jaden Campbell. Jaden Campbell has looked dangerous every time he's run the football. The Titans need more than from him.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. Ian Cohen down on the sidelines. Been a fairly intriguing first half.
Yeah, look, it has. And as you've been calling it, Ned, there's been a lot of broken play and no one's really been able to capitalise on that. But there's been a fair bit of spilt ball, some real opportunities. So it's certainly an entertaining half. You have to say that the 13 for Melbourne Storm is obviously Trent Liero might have had a bit of pepper on his tail after the Queensland result. He has been huge. Will Warbrick has certainly looked very, very dangerous. But Oren Keeley got a very warm round of applause, as is the tradition at Melbourne Storm, when a new player gets on the ground. And I think if you have a look at the front of his jersey, it's also got the threading on it that will announce his debut as well. But look, I'm ready for a cracker of a second half. Conditions are pretty good. It has dried out a little bit. I don't think we're going to get any more rain, so stand by. It should be a ripper.
Fantastic. Ian Cohen down on the sideline. Ryan Hoffman alongside me, Ned Hall in commentary this evening. Half-time, 12-6 in favour of the Melbourne Storm. Will Warbrick with the opening try on 12 minutes. The Titans hit back through Mo Fodawaker, and then Jack Howarth put the Storm back in front on 29 minutes. Both of those tries converted by Nick Meaney for the Storm, and Jaden Campbell successful with his conversion for the Gold Coast Titans. The Storm have had 56 possession to 44 of the Gold Coast Titans. 82% completion from the Storm as opposed to 72 from the Titans. But in these wet conditions, that's not too bad all around. Reasonably close in terms of a lot of the rest of the statistics around the attacking play in this match here as well. And in terms of everything else, fairly level as well. 7 errors to 8, the Storm to the Titans. 4 penalties conceded by the Storm and 3 by the Titans. And obviously you've just got that Jack Howarth head injury assessment taking place at the moment as well. We'll bring you news on that when we get that. In terms of individual statistics from this first half? Well, we've seen some fairly solid play from a lot of the usual standout players from the Melbourne Storm in terms of the run meters in that first half. Well, who's the leader in there at the moment? Probably Tyrone Wishart has run 102 metres in the first half for the Melbourne Storm. He's moved around the park a little bit as well into a couple of different positions, but he's run 102 metres for the Melbourne Storm, so he's the leader there for them in the first 40 minutes or so. Did mention a couple of SMSs as well. Jeff in Sunshine saying, is this referee officiated an NRL match before? Seems out of his depth. That's from Jeff in Sunshine. He's not been doing too badly so far. It's been an interesting game.
Good. Yeah, he's been really good. His communication with the players has been great.
Rocky John saying Walker's disruptor was a penalty because he went up with one arm. Well, that was what they went and looked at, and obviously found that his one arm that did go up did actually make contact with the ball, so it was classified as a knock-on rather than it actually being a disruptor penalty in the end. That was a successful challenge by the Melbourne Storm and a challenge retained. Around the grounds in the other matches in the AFL earlier on today, we had 3 matches today. The Bulldogs beat West Coast by 16 over at Docklands at the MCG, a 46-point win for Melbourne over Richmond, and the Brisbane Lions lead Essendon by 95, 110 to Essendon's 15, and they're counting down the third quarter, so they're in the second half now, but Essendon 15 points for the match so far, so struggling, I think it's fair to say then, Essendon in that match, but that's the latest score from there. Anyway, here at Amy Park, it is the Melbourne Storm who are leading by 12 points to 6. It's going to be an interesting second half. Melbourne Storm, if they want to notch their 500th ever victory, they've got a bit of work to do against this Gold Coast Titans team who've turned up ready to play here tonight. That's all coming your way very shortly, and that's after a trip to the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. The United States has conducted another round of attacks on Iran following an Iranian strike on a ship in the Strait of Hormuz that set the container vessel ablaze and forced its crew to abandon it, with one crew member reported missing. Larry Buttrose has the latest.
The US military says it's hit around 140 targets, far more than in the last 2 rounds of tit-for-tat strikes. It says targets included missile and drone launch sites, ammunition dumps and communications. Iran's Revolutionary Guards say they've responded with strikes aimed at US military facilities in the region, including in Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE and Jordan. They claim to have hit command and control centres and military aviation facilities. The latest crossfire in the Gulf comes days after US President Donald Trump suggested an interim deal in the Iran war is over, throwing prospects for peace into ever greater doubt.
Truck drivers who deliver humanitarian aid supplies to Palestinians in Gaza have held a protest after Israeli forces killed one of their colleagues last week. More from the BBC's Paddy Maguire.
The protest was small, just a few dozen people, but many of them were truckers who say they're subjected to systematic killings and deliberate attacks by Israeli troops. Ahmad Salim was killed near Rafah while transporting food aid into Gaza. His family said he was unarmed and had his hands raised when the soldier who had summoned him shot him in the head. The Israeli military say Salim was running towards them and that the troops opened fire because they perceived a threat. A UN Commission of Inquiry recently found Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, including deliberately killing humanitarian workers.
Australia has offered stronger support for a regional security pact across the Pacific in the wake of a Chinese ballistic missile test earlier this week. Solomon Islands Prime Minister Matthew Wale has been seeking support for the idea ahead of a meeting of leaders of the Pacific Islands Forum next month. Mr. Wale has pointed to the missile test as strengthening the case for a regional security pact. Minister for Pacific Island Affairs, Pat Conroy, says that Australia would support a pact being created.
Well, it's in Australia's interest because it's consistent with both our policy in the Pacific but the whole PIF approach, which is that if there's gaps in security within the Pacific should ask other Pacific nations to fill them.
The Western Australian Premier Roger Cook will commandeer his government's defence industries portfolio in a cabinet reshuffle following the departure of senior Labor MP Paul Papalia. Before his resignation, Mr Papalia was responsible for emergency services, corrective services, defence industries, veterans and racing and gaming. Mr Cook has also passed on his state development responsibilities to Mines and Petroleum Minister David Michael, while newly promoted Minister Daniel Pastorelli, who replaces Mr Papalia in Cabinet, takes over Mines and Petroleum. The corrective services portfolio will be taken on by Attorney General Tony Booty. Canadian police are investigating the cause of a multiple shooting near a festival in the city of Toronto that's left 2 people dead and several others injured. The incident occurred near the popular Salsa on Sinclair Festival, which is an annual celebration of Latin American culture. Toronto's Deputy Police Chief, Frank Barredo, says the incident may have been an exchange of gunfire between 2 people targeting each other, which he condemned.
Investigators are piecing it all together. This is a very chaotic scene. I think we had something in the neighborhood of 13,000 people participating in this festival, so it's crowded. The brazen, despicable quality of this exchange here, the amount of danger to the members of the public, as the mayor commented, is just so unacceptable.
Queensland Police say members of the community found human remains believed to be those of a 30-year-old Toowoomba woman who went missing earlier this week. Chelsea Malunga reports.
Yana Armstrong was last seen alive on Tuesday at her home in Newtown. Remains, believed to be her body, were located last night in bushland off S. Campton Road at Redbank Creek. District Detective Acting Inspector Brian Collins says members of the public who were hunting in the area found the body, then called police.
Whilst the body of Yana hasn't been formally identified at this point in time, we're quite certain that it's Yana.
A 48-year-old man has been charged with murder as a domestic violence offence. The case will be heard in the Toowoomba Magistrates Court tomorrow. Investigations are ongoing.
This is ABC News.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Jerome Hughes goes left, 2 tackles gone in the set. Oh, it's a beautiful dummy. Through the line is Tyron Wishart. He's got King to beat on the halfway line. Oh, he stumbled slightly as he tries to cut back inside to allow the defenders to get back, but he's still going. He's weaving through across to the left. Can he get a teammate in support? He gets it onto Howard, and Howard's brought down now 15 metres out from the line. They've got players away to the right, though. A little kick in behind the line. Will Warbrick all on his own. Catches the ball, runs in field, dives to the ground, and the try is then signalled by Joe Chan, who's pointed to the spot, and the Storm hit the board first here in Melbourne. Makes the tackle, gets the ball away, and then scurrying, trying to get through the line, get a little offload away, brought down just short of the line. On the overlap then Kinney through the hands, and Mo Fodawaker bounces over from a fraction short of the line with nobody on him, and the Gold Coast Titans hit straight back. 4 tackles gone in the set. Going left, quickly through the hands they go, into Tumalatu Brown, pops it back in field, and does he plant the ball down there? At the second or third attempt, Jack Howard thinks he's managed to slam that ball down. It was a bit scrappy, a bit messy. He thinks he scored the try. On first impression, so does Tyson Brough.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership. On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio and ABC Listen.
Welcome back to Amy Parker ahead of the second half here between the Melbourne Storm and the Gold Coast Titans. It is the Storm leading by 12 points to 6 at half-time. I'm Ned Hall. Alongside me is Ryan Hoffany and Cohen down on the sideline. It's nice and clear here at the moment. It's all set for an interesting second half with the game still in the balance. Melbourne Storm not having it all their own way tonight. Earlier on today, Manly lost at home to the Cowboys, I should say, in Golden Point. They were leading at half-time and the Cowboys won in the end 19 points to 18. 3 points in the ABC Player of the Year medal went to Scott Drinkwater, 2 to Tom Trbojevic and 1 to Braden Burns. And in the early game, the world's biggest birthday party, celebrating and raising money for Jai Arrow, the South Sydney team won 26 to 24. Brandon Smith the 3 points, David Fafita 2, and Matt Duffy picked up 1 point. And I'm giving the scores for that as well. If you want to hear the interviews with Jai Arrow, he popped into the box earlier on today to talk to the boys on NRL Sunday. That will be in the ABC ABC NRL Daily podcast feed. Just search for the ABC NRL Daily whenever you get your podcasts and find it anytime on ABC Listen. Also, to raise money for the appeal around Jai Arrow, go to familyofleague.org.au/stand-with-Jai, J-A-A, and that's a way of giving some money to Jai Arrow and fundraising around that. And the special virtual birthday hats can be secured with a donation of $11.66, Jai Arrow's Rabbitohs number, via jaivirtualpartyhat.rabbitohs.com.au. Search those things up there and get on board donating some money to a very, very worthy cause. Here at Amy Park, we've got the kids who've been running around at half-time, lining up either side of the halfway line as the players are getting ready to come back out for the second half. Ryan Hoffman alongside me. How do you think Craig Bellamy would have been at half-time after that performance in the first half from the Melbourne Storm?
Yeah, he'd be concerned about a couple of lapses in defence, especially there in the last 10 seconds when Jaden Campbell made a break and nearly put AJ Brimson away. So that's the most concerning part. They've been playing well in patches, but not playing well throughout the main parts of the game. So it's staying composed and staying focused throughout the full 80 minutes or the 40 minutes for the rest of this half.
Titans first out there. Good to see quite a few of the Titans as well running through the arms of the kids to go and high-five them as they make their way back out onto the field of play at the start of the second half. The Titans are definitely alive in this second half. Only 6 points down, and a try from Mo Fodawaker it was, and they very nearly scored from a piece of magic from Jaden Campbell just on the stroke of half-time. AJ Brimson couldn't quite get to the line in his 150th match. Just waiting for the Melbourne Storm to come back out now. On the SMS, 0467920222. Rowdy Andy's been in touch saying, I found this year the hardest to pick rugby league results in the last 40 years. Might have a point. This weekend, as I say, has been particularly tricky. We'll go through a lot of the results later on, but there have been some strange results this weekend, or very, very hard to pick results, without question. And Tiger Tooley in touch too, saying, good evening, boys. Except for my Tigers getting flogged again, it's been a good round of footy, but one thing I've noticed that most games have had a skinny 10 and plenty of forward passes that just go by. I don't mind as long as they don't start pulling them up come finals time. As long as they start pulling them up coming finals time. It's always one of the big gripes as well, that passes going slightly forward that refs don't pick up, but it's often hard for referees, unless they've got the touch judges to intervene, because they're generally standing behind the ball anyway. You're not going to see it go forward. You're not always in line with the play.
I think with the amount, it can be quite deceptive, especially if you're watching on TV with the angle of on the screen. It's very tough to see what's a flat pass and what's a forward pass.
Storm players, you can see, walking their way through the tunnel now to come back out onto the field for the second half. Try scorers in that first half here. Will Warbrick, who's now the leading try scorer for the Melbourne Storm this season on 16. Su'Afa'alongo, incidentally, he's on 13 tries for the season. He scored 1 try in his last 6 matches, Su'Afa'alongo, having scored 12 in his first 10. So the tries have just dried up a touch for Su'Afa'alongo. He's still such a dangerous player out there for Melbourne Storm, but not quite finding the try line with the same regularity.
No, but he's had a few try assists in there, and a lot of the tries are coming off his line breaks as well. But that was a pretty amazing stat, wasn't it? 12 in the first 10 games. Wow.
You take that. Most players anyway. 12 in 10 to start off the season, but Will Warbrick's now...
I never scored 12 in the season.
Yeah, exactly. 10 games only for him to get to that mark. Pretty impressive stuff. As I say, Will Warbrick now is the one. He scored in the last 5 matches straight. 7 tries in those 5 games. Just to get back underway here, waiting for Jaden Campbell to kick off. Tyson Brough, the referee in charge. On the touch judges, Phil Henderson and Matt Neuer. Actually, Klein is in the bunker. Whistle blows, and we'll check in very shortly with Ian Cohen on the sideline to find out what was said in the rooms at half-time. As balls with Wishart, pops it on now to King. King up over the 10-metre line before he's brought to ground, and Melbourne Storm start off the second half leading 12-6. Ball thrown right to McDonald. McDonald carries the ball forward, 25 metres out from his own line in centre field for the Melbourne Storm. Harry Grant goes right into the hands of Keeley. On debut for the Storm, the former Dolphin, brought down 12 shy of halfway. Grant goes to his left into Trent the Aero. The Aero hard into the line, just short of halfway. 4 tackles gone in the set for the Melbourne Storm. Grant onto his right. McDonald, second carry in the set. Good strong tackle on him from Beau Firma, but he gets into the Titans territory. And on the last tackle, they go down the short side to the right. Hughes puts up the bomb. Hangs high in the air. Will Warbrick gets up there, takes it clean. He's been wrapped up. He's got the ball away. Kicked in behind the line by Fa'alongo. It's just been tidied up short of the line by the Gold Coast Titans, doing some good work to get back and pounce on the ball. Trying to see how it might have been Firmer got down there, but he's a little ginger getting up off the ground. Diffused that quite nicely for the Gold Coast Titans after some good skill from Fa'alongo. Ball carried forward by the Titans, just out over the 10-metre line, 15 in from touch, left-hand side of the field. Pasco at dummy half, goes right through the hands of Campbell. On it goes to Jojo Fafita. He's brought down just over the 20-metre line. Off to the left this time from Pasco. Cutting back in field is Morin. Going to the left, Pasco. Kick downfield from Campbell. It's a wobbly old kick into the hands, though, of Sua Fa'alongo. Takes the catch, runs up towards the 30-metre line. Looking for a gap in the line. He's wrapped up in the tackle, and he goes to ground. Chance now to cross down to Ian Cohen for the news from the rooms.
Yeah, Josh Hannay was pretty positive. He said, you're in the contest, keep going, keep on your discipline, though. Good news for Melbourne Storm, and you can see him out there, Jack Howarth, past the HIA. He challenged their intent. He said that Gold Coast Titans have been tackling harder and running harder. Craig Bellamy challenged the Storm.
Ian Cohen down on the sideline is running into the line then, and stumbling into the line was Tyrone Wishart. A little clumsy as he went in there, the collision with Mo Fotuaika, but he gets up with the ball. They move it to the right through the hands of Hughes, onto Fa'alongo, onto Meany. Meany goes to ground, 5 in from touch on the right-hand side of the field. 2.5 gone in the second half, 12-6 the Storm lead. Hughes on the last, hangs up the ball for Warbrick to get under. Warbrick again, takes it cleanly. Harry Grant tries to kick it through the line. It comes back off a Titans player. The ball having been knocked on.
No, I think it was accidental offside. Harry Grant kicked the ball and hit a Titans player. I think it might have been AJ Brinson, who then bounced and hit another Titans player who's in an offside position. So good opportunity for the Storm, another set of 6 inside the Titans 20.
Good fortune, but again, interesting, those last 2 sets ending with Will Warbrick taking the high catch, managing to get the ball back, and almost a kick through the line on both occasions.
Yeah, I still don't think Jerome Hughes is giving the ball enough height. I think they're still a bit more shallow. You need Will Warbrick running hard into that ball.
Scrum 1, Hughes goes left onto Howarth, as Ian Cohen mentioned. Back onto the field after passing an HIA. Throwing into centre field onto Cooper Clark. He's pumping those legs, and again Cooper Clark, so hard to stop near the line. He stayed on his feet, plays the ball. Grant goes to his right, into centre field to Wishart. Wishart, little dummy, tries to shoot through the line. Can't quite get there, they wrap him up. Pasco holding on to his legs. Grant at dummy half, throws it back to Hughes. Hughes pops it short to King. King in towards the line, he's just shy. Josh King can't get the ball down. Thrown out wide, almost making its way out towards Tumalatu Brown. Dean Jeremiah just getting hands on the ball. But it's been knocked forward, so it'll be a Storm ball once again. That big looping pass, nearly getting it out to the young winger. Vital intervention, it turned out in the end, by Jojo Fafita.
Yeah, that ball was heading straight to Tumalatu Brown. It was unmarked. Good work. I think it was actually Dean Jeremiah that got himself in the passing lane. All those years getting passes from Harry Grant. He thought he was back on a Storm jersey, getting another one.
Storm with the ball. Back to centre field to Hughes. Hughes on to Liero. Trent Liero from Mountain of work tonight after playing Origin on Wednesday night for Queensland. Harry Grant with the ball now. He goes to Hughes. Hughes out the back to Wishart. Wishart pops it back in field to Cooper Clark. Cooper Clark runs into Mo Fotuaika. Again, does well to stay on his feet right to the last moment. They eventually almost have to knock his leg out of the way to get him to the ground. Grant back to centre field. 2 tackles gone. Hughes pops it short to McDonald, and McDonald crashes over just to the right of the upright. Well, they've been pushing and probing away at the Titans line, and eventually they breached it. They crashed through in the end with Alec McDonald going over for his first try of the season. Up on the shoulder of Jerome Hughes, just popped it short, and there was a hole for him to run through, and the lead blows out to 10 points. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Melbourne lead the Titans 16-6.
There's just a weight of pressure there for the Melbourne Storm. Repeat set after repeat set down on the Gold Coast Titans line. It did well, Jerome Hughes. This time, instead of having Sua Fa'alongo out on the edge on the back of a block, he kept him on his inside, which just held up the Titans' defence, which allowed him to get to his man, get that defensive man to turn in, hit the man affectionately known as Chin from that fantastic chin on his face, and gets the ball over the line.
good start to the second half. I think Melbourne Storm will be a lot happier with that as they walk back into their own end.
Absolutely. Well, Craig Bellamy, as I said, challenged their intent, said you've got to run harder, you've got to tackle harder. Gold Coast are doing that over the top of you at the moment, and that is the perfect platform to be 16-6. And how jubilant was the Chin when he scored? He's off the nudie run.
He'll be delighted. First try since round 26 last season, so getting over the line. Some good work in the build-up from Jerome Hughes. Nick Meaney to try and add the extras here. Ball just back outside the 10-metre. Should be a straightforward one for him. Sticks it between the posts, the flags go up, and indeed the score buys out to 18 points to 6. 5 minutes or so into the second half here at Amy Park, NRL Sunday on ABC Sport. Ned Hall, Ryan Hoppen and Ian Cohen with you here for the final game of the round. And Melbourne Storm now in the box seat to go on and wrap up the 2 points here. Way to go yet, but strong start to the second half, and they back it up the back of adding that extra try.
They started the half strongly, the Melbourne Storm. They got that first set of 6, they turned the ball over inside the Titans' 10-metre line. So that showed the intent right off the first kick-off of the second half.
Campbell with a long kick downfield. Wishart collects it, pops it on to King. Josh King with the hit up.
He hasn't had a rest either, Josh King.
No. He just gets through some minutes, Josh King, as Harry Grant, great one-handed pickup from dummy half and a little dart forward, gets up to the 20-metre line. He has looked really sharp tonight, Harry Grant, right from the first moment that he stepped onto the field. As the ball's popped infield now to Jack Howard. Through centre field he goes to the 30-metre line. And he's brought down. Grant, pick and scoop. Back infield he goes to Wishart. Towards the halfway line. Oh, he's got the offload away. He's popped it to nobody in particular. And then Josh King collects it. And he takes another hit up forward. Towards the halfway line. Stays on his feet. Up by Harrison, thrown back to centre field to Liero. Hughes into the line, gives it to Fa'alongo. There wasn't anywhere else for him to go, just popped it short to Fa'alongo, and he almost found a gap through the line before eventually he's brought down on the last. 18-6 the score. Wishart with the kick. It's a flattish kick, trying to get it in towards the corner, but it's easy for Kinney to get round there, collect the ball. He goes to ground. Wishart gets forward and makes the tackle himself. Just lost their way a little bit at the end of that set, Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, they just started going sideways. Jerome Hughes, they're having problems on this right edge when they look to attack their right edge and go out the back. The Titans are jamming on them, which is really causing Jerome Hughes to second guess his pass.
Titans bringing it forward. 3 tackles gone in the set. It's in centre field. Popped away to the left and carry forward, but just shy of the halfway line still. Trailing 18-6 the Titans. Goes through the hands of Morin to Harrison. Out towards Campbell. Campbell onto Kinney. He's got a bit of a gap to get through, then almost burst in between Howarth and Tumalatu Brown. They bring him down. 5 and from touch on the right. On the last they go. Fafita plays it infield towards Jaden Campbell. Walking in towards that, Fa'alongo calmly in there, takes hold of the ball, takes the tackle.
Yeah, that was good work. Melbourne Storm players around Fa'alongo would have told him he had plenty of time, so he didn't need to go up. He could take a nice, easy catch. Good communication.
Good stuff from the Melbourne Storm. You probably hear them from down there, Ian Cohen. There's a bit of chat out on the field.
Yeah, look, there's plenty of interaction, no doubt about that. It seems that Tino and Trent have settled down a bit, though.
Yeah, that was great in the first half. 2 Queensland teammates, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and Trent Liero, going head-to-head on multiple occasions. The Storm carrying the ball forward and eventually taking the tackle, Will Warbrick. 15 in from touch on the right, just over the 30-metre line. They go down the short side again to Hughes. Hughes, little feint, brought down on the halfway. On the last, he's got the ball clear, has he? No, he's been wrapped up now by the Titans, and so that's a turnover really on the halfway line from the Melbourne Storm. Gives the Titans an opportunity to start the set inside Storm territory. They trail 18-6, 10 gone in the second half already. Titans looking to push forward, thrown to the right, thrown back in field from Morin. Cleese Haas with the ball. He's wrapped up by 2 Storm players. Go left, Pascoe. Through the hands it goes. Great running again and pop back field infield. A little offload in towards Pascoe. And in the end, Jaden Campbell, great running from him. Pascoe was caught a little high then by Josh King as he came in over his shoulder to make the tackle. And that's what's been given by the referee here.
Yeah, he was he had someone on in the referee court held, and as he went to roll away from, I think, Josh King, who was holding on to him, he lost the ball. Might have been worth a challenge by the Titans, because he did call held and Josh King didn't let him go. I would have challenged that.
Mentioned they haven't challenged it. I'm just almost waiting for them to see that they would.
Yeah.
Jumped in and done that, as it is. Ball is with the Melbourne Storm now. They carry it forward over the 20-metre line, 15 in from touch on the left-hand side of the field. Harry Grant in there. Lead 18-6, the Storm.
They still shouldn't be comfortable, the Melbourne Storm. This Titan team does have points in them.
Just saw then again Campbell breaking his way through the line. Such a dangerous and elusive runner. As it is now, Melbourne Storm with the ball. The arrow plays the ball. Grant at dummy half gives it on to the last try scorer, Alec McDonald, scored the third Melbourne Storm try. Harry Grant again looking left, wasn't really an option, so he kicks downfield on the fourth. He kicks long, it's bobbling into the back of the try. Just bounces dead in the end. Thought it might sit down just before the back line. In fact, it just bobbled its way over. But he didn't seem to have the options there on the left. Looked left, wasn't on to his right, so almost forced to kick Harry Grant.
Yeah, it was the right idea. He just put way too much mustard on.
Tackle in centre field. Gold Coast Titans with the ball. Just under half an hour to go in the game. Cooper Clark in the tackle then, being told to get up, and too slow getting up then, according to Tyson Brough. So it's another little leg up here for the Gold Coast Titans, as Jojo Fafita with a strong carry up towards halfway. They go right on towards Harrison. Harrison trying to get in between two Storm players, eventually wrapped up. 5 in from touch on the right, thrown in by it's a poor drop, really is. Arama Howe threw the ball in field and has just lost cold, unfortunately, for the Gold Coast Titans in centre field.
It's happened a couple of times for the Titans, just simple drops, just taking their eyes off the footy.
Curtis Morin, it was.
Sorry, there's an interchange about to happen. Josiah Pahulu is finally, I don't know how many times he's been named on the team sheet for the Melbourne Storm and hasn't made his Storm debut. He's finally going to make his Storm debut.
I'll go to Ian Cohen here for a bit of a description of because he's a big lad.
He is a big lad. He's running those legs in for a billiard table because he is a big lad. And you're quite right, Hoffy. He's been named a lot, but now he's on, and the Storm fans are in behind him.
Absolutely, just in front of us, where a lot of the extended Storm squad are as well. They're giving him a big cheer. They're delighted to see him get out there and get on the field for his Melbourne Storm debut. A player as well who played for the Gold Coast Titans. Josiah Pahulu, he's going to get a touch in. No, the ball's passed in behind and then burst through a hole there. Cooper Clark, can he get his arm free? He's got 2 outside him. No, he can't. 5 in from touch on the left. Still going in the tackle, Cooper Clark. They're really struggling to wrap him up, the Gold Coast Titans. Ball thrown in field from Grant to Wishart, onto Jerome Hughes, who cuts back into the left, into centre field. He's brought down now to be the last tackle. 10 metres out the Melbourne Storm. They lead 18-6. It's thrown out wide. It's been intercepted. Oh, it's been absolutely handed on a platter here to the Gold Coast Titans. And Jayden Clark sprinting away over the 20, 10 into the corner. He'll touch the ball down. And Melbourne Storm, when they were putting on all the pressure, then in a great position to try and extend their lead and probably put it to a game-winning lead as well. They just hand that ball in, throwing it blind out towards the touchline, and Jayden Campbell picks it up and runs unimpeded the length of the field to score the try and cut the deficit to 8 points with a kick still to come.
I don't know how many times I saw Preston Campbell do that exact same thing for the Cronulla Sharks and the Gold Coast Titans. Harry Grant came out down the short side. They had numbers, but Jayden Campbell just got himself in the passing lane. Harry Grant was standing on the 10-metre line as soon as he passed it with his head down because he knew what was coming. Great work by Jayden Campbell. He's been threatening all night. Very deserved try for the Titans. They're back in this football game.
It's a real blow then for the Storm. So from that moment when they look like they're going over, they're close to the line, they're really putting some pressure on the Titans, not managing to break their way through, and they now find themselves huddled again back behind their own line, with the leader potentially being cut to a converted try. Not the easiest in conversions though, to add the extras here for a player who's just run the length of the pitch.
Honestly, his dad was a master at it. Preston Campbell, the amount of times he could get an intercept and streak the length of the field, it was a pleasure to watch. Except when you're playing against him.
Jaden Campbell will take this conversion from out near the left-hand touchline, just out over the 20-metre line, 4 metres in from touch. Given plenty of encouragement by the fans around the stadium as he sticks this one to the post and raises both the flags as well. That's a terrific kick off the back of some superb work from Jaden Campbell. So he's 2 from 2 for the evening, and the scoreline now is 18-12 with 25 minutes to go. And Ian Cohen, that's really put the cat among the pigeons here.
Yeah, look, it certainly has, and this is an exhibition of what the Gold Coast Titans can actually do. Hoffy said they got points in them. They clearly have, and Storm certainly cannot be putting the cue in the rack or relaxing at all, even though history is favouring them. You know, the Titans have only won once here, but Storm have got their work cut out for them, and great effort by Campbell.
Yeah, it was. So it was a terrific run downfield, and then to get up and slot that conversion from out the touchline as well. Very, very good effort there. SMS on 0467920222 from Stewie saying big shout out to Greg the Falcon Cunliffe. Happy 60th birthday. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot, Stewie. As kick-off taken. What a strong run back into the line then from the Gold Coast Titans, getting the ball up towards the 20-metre line. Morin, he has a carry now, 15 in from touch, left-hand side of the field, 20 metres out from touch. Back to centre field to Tino Fosumalawi. This time he runs into another Queensland teammate in Harry Grant. Plays the ball, centre field, they move it right again, and well taken into the line by the Gold Coast Titans. Invigorated by scoring that try. Good run forward by Cleese Haas now, up to halfway. On the last tackle, they go right to Harrison on the last. Harrison kicks downfield, hangs it high in the air. Farlongo underneath it, gives it on to Tuamalatu Brown, who has a chance to speed up and run into the line, and he's lost it forward. It's popped straight up into the hands of the Gold Coast Titans. Josh Paxton, they're moving it right out towards Jeremiah. Oh, could Jeremiah get over against his four-a-side? Not quite. He's brought down a couple of metres short of the line. 6 more tackles. Golden opportunity this for the Gold Coast Titans. Ball thrown back into centre field. Nick Meaney had come out of the line there to try and intercept it, but Jaden Campbell comes back away with the ball, and the ball was thrown forward by Jaden Campbell, and they bombed a great position and a great chance then to level this game up, the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, huge work by Nick Meaney. He summed it up perfectly. They were in absolute licorice all sorts, the Melbourne Storm, because they had 1,000 numbers to the left. He identified that. He jammed, forced Jaden Campbell back on the inside, which then forced the error.
So it's a shame for Tuamalatu Brown. He hasn't seen a lot of ball in the match so far. Gets one carry and the ball shoots out of his hand.
It was a good tackle right in under the football there. I think it was Jojo Fafita.
So the Melbourne Storm leading 18-12. 23 minutes left to go. And the ball is with the Storm off the back of that scrum, but they're back on their own 10-metre line. Stefano Utrikamani back out into the action as well to shore things up in the middle as driving him back then. The Titans have got their tails up here, driving Oren Keeley back towards his own try line. Now Jack House with a good strong run, but it's only just out over the 10-metre line. 3 tackles into the set. Popping it up early here. Good strong run downfield from the Melbourne Storm by Paulu. Harry Grant calmly takes his time, steps over Jojo Fafita, who the ball was next to his head, and then throws it across to the right. 4 tackles gone in the set. On the last, just sending Utrikamani back a couple of metres. He'd walked off the mark. Grant to the right. Wishart with the kick on the last. Fires it long downfield, but Keeley will take this. Plenty of time to take the ball into his chest. He runs crossfield, throws it out to the right. Jojo Fafita didn't have a lot of players in front of him, but he cut back in field and he takes the tackle. 15 short of halfway, 15 in from touch on the right-hand side of the field. Thrown back into Cleese Haas. He's going to be brought down just short of the halfway line for the Gold Coast Titans. They trail by a converted try. Pop back in field. That's a good run forward once again for the Gold Coast Titans. They're now looking like they really are up and about their business here as Harrison goes cross-field. He throws it across into the hands of Brimson. Brimson cutting infield. Well wrapped up by Nick Meaney. Made sure he didn't miss him then. Made sure he wrapped the ball up as well. 4 tackles gone into the set. Going back into centre field. Harrison plays the ball on again, and tackle made on Morin. On the last, they go to the right. Harrison with the kick, hangs it high in the air. Tumalatu Brown gets there, takes it cleanly, does well this time. Anita ahead of the line, puts the ball down under a lot of pressure from the Titans. Well done, Tumalatu Brown off the back of that error, redeeming himself there. It's a good strong carry forward by Jack House to start off the set for the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, they needed that there from Tumalatu Brown, the Melbourne Storm, because there has been a momentum change here. The Gold Coast Titans is winning the field position battle, and they're also making leaders in their defence. They're getting good line speed up. They've got their tails.
Ball thrown across to centre field, and Butu Kamanu carries it out over the 30. He goes to ground now. On the last, Melbourne Storm. Harry Grant, I think, tried to buy a cheap penalty then, just by thinking about shaking the ball. The player was lying in the tackle, kicks downfield in the end. It bounces and sits up nicely for Dino Ramaya. Former Storm player carries the ball into centre field, takes the tackle, goes to ground. Paulu there. Thrown on now to the left by the Titans, picked up a dummy half by Pascoe. Pascoe pops it short off to his left, and charging forward and getting into 10 metres inside the Melbourne Storm half by Furmont. Campbell through the hands, he goes to Randall, thrown up in the line, they're throwing him on the line, there's pressure on the men. Tumalatu Brown goes diving after it. He could have kicked it on there maybe and run downfield with it. The Gold Coast Titans have regained the ball, and it's 6 more tackles for them, but just inside the Storm half. Gold Coast Titans, Randall plays the ball, carried forward by Tino now. In centre field, 30 metres out from the goal line. 18-12 the score. Just under 20 minutes left to go here. Jaden Campbell pops the ball back in field. Both Former takes it into the tackle. He's got up, played the ball thrown to the right. 3 tackles gone in the set. They go through the hands. Goes in from Kinney to Fafita. Good tackle then by Howarth to wrap up. Jojo Fafita down the short side. Keanu Kinney popping it back in field and darting in towards the line. Not too far away at all then was Oliver Pascoe. On the last, going cross field is Harrison. Jumping and almost over the ball. Has been knocked forward, it looks like, by Will Warbrick. So the Gold Coast Titans, he's giving it against Will Warbrick. It looked like he came forward off Warbrick to me first call.
Yeah, I think because they dropped it in a bit shallow and trying to put it on top of Nick Manny's head, because they know what a good catcher Will Warbrick is, but as he came through with all that momentum, I think it went back off the Titans and then forward off Will Warbrick when they followed through.
So scrum in centre field for the Titans. This is a golden opportunity here. 18-12 behind, 18 minutes to go here. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport at Amy Park. Through the hands it goes to Harrison. Harrison out wide, running in towards the line and slicing his way through, practically untouched Keanu Kinney. A huge gap opened up, and the Storm players standing out there on the left edge at the moment are staring blankly towards each other, because that was much, much too easy for the Gold Coast Titans to find a way through the line. Off that scrum in centre field, they just shifted the ball right, had a huge hole for Keanu Kinney to side through and take his 3rd try of the season and cut the gap to a converted try. It's 18-16 with that kick still to come.
Yeah, that was way too simple. It was just a simple block play off the scrum. Jack Howarth had to come in on his man, and Tumalatu Brown just did not follow him and was backing off on his try line there. You can't make a tackle on your try line backing off, and Keanu Kinney, he doesn't need too much of an invitation. Titans are back in this football game. We had a Golden Point game, the one previous with the Cowboys and Manly. Could we see another one here?
Yeah, Keanu Kinney made that feel very, very easy. There's cross back down to Ian Cohen shortly after this as well, just for a bit of an update on what's been happening down on the sidelines. But slightly different feeling now at the other end of the field. As I say, there were a lot of blank looks down at the Melbourne Storm, and then at the back of that try going in, with players sort of wondering quite how they've managed to leave such an enormous gap in the defensive line as Campbell steps forward, strikes this so beautifully. There's not much messing around. Ian Cohen, that's just down in front of you. He doesn't waste much time, Jaden Campbell, in getting himself ready for the kick, and yet he's absolutely deadly accurate.
No, not a lot of theatrics, not a lot of sidestepping and geeing up. He just gets back and does it. But that went right through the middle, absolutely over the black dot. So marvellous work from him. A crowd of 12,386 in the house on a Sunday night. And Dean Jeremiah, who's now on my side of the ground. He has spent 2 years in the gym. He might not have been playing, but boy, oh boy, is he a big unit now.
Yeah, he is a big lad to be playing on the wing, but that's the thing these days. There's some big boys out on the wings these days. No longer is it the domain of the skinny flyers who'll be up and down there. There's some big units flying up and down the touchline these days. As it's all square here with 17 minutes left to go here. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport. 18 points apiece at Amy Park. The Gold Coast Titans are springing their step after having scored the last 2 tries. They go surging forward now with Fasur Malaawi up towards the 20-metre line. 15 in from touch on the left-hand side of the field. Second tackle. Pascal dummy half throws it back to centre field and carry forward then by Moring. He goes to ground 35 metres out. Off to the left they go, and again taking on the line and really attacking. Kearney Kinney getting up and doing some good attacking work. The fullback and score of the last try. On the last, just inside the Melbourne Storm half. Throw back to centre field. Harrison with the kick downfield, hangs it high in the air. And Warbrick gets underneath it, takes it clean. He cuts back into centre field so he can see if he can dart through a gap. He can't, so he's brought down 18 metres out from the Storm try line. All square here. And really a key period of the match coming up now, Ryan Hoffman.
Might help with press club. Yeah, it certainly is for the Melbourne Storm. There's a few guys a bit slow to get back behind the line on the back of that kick chase. These guys played some big minutes, including Trent Liera, who's still going there, but they're going to need some good work from the outside backs after we see a good run by Utui Kamano.
Yeah, just make some good ground up towards halfway. Now Cooper Clark has the ball 10 shy of the halfway line, gets an arm free and pops it out towards Howarth. In fact, Meany, has come across to this side and he's out on the left-hand side of the field. Falongo also with an offload away on the right-hand side. Oren Keeley now just over halfway. Oh, and he's got 3 of the tackles. He's bursting down the right-hand touchline. Still going forward, 30 metres from the Titans line. That was magic stuff from Keeley. They're not quite sure how he got away from the tackles. He looked like he was wrapped up. Throw him out to centre field to Hughes. Now on to Wishart. Wishart on to Falongo. Attacking on the left edge now. Falongo goes wide in towards Tuolata Brown. He's been wrapped up. They're going to try and drag him to the touchline, but he does well to go to ground. Stays in play. He'll play the ball on the last. Thrown to Wishart. Wishart little stab kick in behind the post. It's going to bounce dead, is it? It's been carried over in the end by Jaden Campbell. I'm just keeping an eye on. I'm not sure if you can see. I know you're a bit of a distance from Ian Carr, but Stuart Falongo's definitely pulled up lame after that last attack.
Yeah, he's got strapping around the left quad and hamstring area anyway, but it looks like it may be shin or ankle. He's certainly hobbling.
It's a bit of a blow for them. It'll be a goal line dropout now for the Gold Coast Titans. Just watching again, he got his leg caught slightly underneath him as he offloaded that ball to Tumalatu Brown. Anyway, goal line dropout. They go long towards the halfway line. It's popped short towards Paulu, who gets into the line hard then. Brought on by encouragement from his teammates in front of us. In centre field, Melbourne Storm with the ball. They go left into Cooper Clark. Cooper Clark brought down, 25 out. Harry Grant plays the ball. Liero now. Liero makes a few more metres. He's 15 metres out from the goal line before he's brought down. 18 points each here at Amy Park. Cooper Clark with another strong run, trying to see if Melbourne Storm can get their noses in front once again. Off to the right they go. Wishart through the hands to Liero, through the hands to Hughes, off to the right. Oh, that pass then. Like he wasn't really ever going to be on then to Oren Keeley. He was almost being wrapped up as the ball reached him. The ball goes to ground.
It wasn't a great pass by Jerome Hughes. He threw a good one for Alan McDonald for the try, but there's been a couple that have gone to ground that haven't been great options.
So, led off the hook, the Gold Coast Titans, 13 to go. 18 points all here at Amy Park. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport. Gold Coast with the ball, playing it just outside the 20-metre line. Back to centre field they go. Through the hands now. Once again, a good carry up over the 30-metre line before eventually going to ground. One for Tueka, throwing back to Fasur Malaawi. Both the big starting front rowers out there now for the Titans as they sniff an opportunity in this match. Ball played by Fasur Malaawi. They go off to the left from Campbell. 10 metres inside the Storm half. 15 in from touch. Ball played on the last. On to Campbell. Campbell puts his boot through this and hangs the bomb high in the air. Falongo underneath it. Takes it cleanly. wrapped up by 3 Titans players. Wasn't sure if he was going to try and get a little offload away. Then he had some support around him. Gets up now, plays the ball. Hughes at dummy half. Gives it to Warbrick. Warbrick with the carry up over 20. 12 to go. All square at Amy Park. Howarth now runs up over the 30-metre line. 2 tackles gone in the set. Back to centre field to Wishart. Wishart bursts through a gap. He's held up, stays on his feet. Plays the ball and Grant goes off to the left. Liero again hits the line hard, hits Arama out. Grant on the last, gives it to Wishart, who almost fumbled that one as the ball came towards him. Now with the kick, kicking in towards space, but Keanu Kinney getting back and getting in behind the ball. Comes running forward. Keanu Kinney almost getting away, but he's wrapped up by the scruff of his neck in the end by Utrikamano. Plays it, gives it back in field. It's eventually taken down. There's Arama off to the right to Fafita. 10 shy of halfway for the Gold Coast Titans. 18 all, thrown back to centre field. Kinney, through the hand he goes to Campbell. Out towards the left-hand side of the field, Bo Firma out there. Brimston support. Firma brought to ground. 5 inside the Storm half. 4 tackles gone in the set. Back to centre field. Oh, great hands in the end from Tino Fasumalo, who's loosened the ball. He's put the ball away. And that's a great run forward from AJ Brimston. Just put his head down and sprinted forward on the last, on the 20-metre line. They go down the short side left, running in towards the line. They fumbled it forward. They bombed that one in the end, out towards Bo Firma it went. Got into a good position, Jaden Campbell, and I don't think Bo Firma was expecting him to fire the ball in towards him. I thought he would have expected Campbell to take the line on.
No, it was great work by Suafalonga, who came out hard from mark and put pressure, which forced him to pass a bit earlier, which was the error. The Melbourne Storm got away with one there because they had an overlap on that short side. There's 2 teams playing 2 different styles. The Melbourne Storm are just trying to get to their end of the sets of 6, to be quite honest, and the Gold Coast Titans are actually playing football. The Gold Coast Titans look the team more likely at the moment.
With the ball and with the carry forward. So McMeany getting involved in some of the grunt work. Utwikamano now goes in 5 short of halfway in centre field. Harry Grant, one-handed pick up at dummy half, scoots forward, pops it back in field, and Tyrone Wishart wasn't the intended recipient, tried to take it with him, juggled it forward. He's turned the ball over in the end anyway. Gold Coast Titans have it, and they bring it forward towards the halfway line. So another error really then from the Melbourne Storm. They are really playing heads-up football out there. The Gold Coast Titans looking to take everything on. Looking full of confidence. Kinney throws it out to the right. Fafita eventually brought to ground by Wishart. Wriggles his way free, plays the ball. Pasco at dummy half, popped back in field. Fotuaker 12 metres out from the goal line. He eventually is brought down, in fact 8 metres out from the goal line, gets up and plays the ball. They move to the right, through the hands they go. Kinney takes the tackle, he goes to ground. 4 tackles gone in the set, 18 all the score. 9 minutes to go here at Amy Park. Gold Coast Titans sniffing an opportunity, moving it to the right. Campbell with a kick in behind the line. Faulongo comes across, all he can do is bat the ball dead. Good play again and a good little kick in behind the line then from Jaden Campbell. Looking to get Bo Firma on the end of that one.
Yeah, good bit of acknowledgement there from Jaden Campbell. Saw that the Melbourne Storm defence came up quite quickly and put the ball in. Suafalongo got himself in great field position. Good work by the Titans, get another set of 6.
So just under 9 minutes to go. Anybody's game, all square here. 18 points all, 3 converted tries for each side. Faulongo with the goal line dropout, just gets it out over the 10-metre line, bobbling its way out over the sideline, and that turns out in the end to be a decent result.
I tell you what, Suafalonga had nailed these short dropouts. That was an absolute pearler. That went really high and looked like an absolute nightmare for the Titans to take.
In the end, ball played in centre field. Here go the Melbourne Storm, 8 minutes to go. Which side will get their noses in front? The closing stages of this match, or are we headed for the second golden point match of the day?
If I'm the Melbourne Storm, I'm kicking a field goal first opportunity. They've got to get scoreboard pressure on the Titans.
Ball carried forward towards halfway, and Trampiero again has done a mountain of work. He's still going out there. It's Harry Grant picks the the ball on halfway. Pop back in field to Fowlongo. Oh, he almost got through then. Just grabbed by the back of the shorts in the end and brought down as Harry Grant in at dummy half. He goes forward, runs in towards the line, eventually takes the tackle. This is the on the last now. Harry Grant gets up. Wishart at dummy half. They go down the short side. Wishart with the kick in behind the goal line. It's been well taken, and it's been taken safely, and it'll be a 20-metre restart now for the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, Harry Grant got tackled, and Oren Keeley went in the dummy half, and he went to Tyron Wishart down the short side, which was not the play. They had Jerome Hughes screaming for it on the open.
So chance for the Titans now to build from deep inside their own half. A big couple of interchanges just happened. Ian Cohen down there just noticing that Cooper Clark is doing a massive amount of work back out on the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely, but I think the Titans are all out of them now, so whoever's out there in the yellow and blue will be out there for the remainder.
Looking like they're up to the task at the moment as they try and burst away down the left-hand touchline now with AJ Brimson once again. 3 tackles gone in the set. They're inside the Storm half. Fasumala Awi moves it through the hands into Harrison as the runner went past him on the shoulder, then Curtis Moran. So he didn't have anyone to pass it to in the end, so eventually takes the tackle. 15 in from the right-hand touchline. Thrown back in to centre field to Fasumala Awi. Oh, and he tries to get an arm free, and as he does, he loses the ball forward. Just trying to wriggle an arm clear there, which he probably didn't need to do at that stage in the set. And the ball bobbles out over his shoulder and turns possession over.
Yeah, not the play there required by the captain. They just needed to get to their kick and put a high one up and put some pressure on, because who knows what can happen off those high kicks. Look, for the Melbourne Storm, they had one opportunity down there when Oren Keeley went the wrong way. Will they get another chance with 5 minutes to go?
Closing stage of this match on a knife edge here. Great finish coming up, and a day coming up too. Kylie from Daysdale celebrating my birthday tomorrow, 69 years young. So happy birthday to you, Kylie. 0467 920 222. Will we get a winner out of this one in normal time as Fowlongo pops the ball back into centre field to Will Warbrick. Warbrick carries the ball forward, 15 shy of the halfway line in centre field. Grant onto McDonald. McDonald carries the ball forward, closing in on halfway. Grant in there at dummy half again. Off to the right he goes. King over halfway. He goes to ground now. 4 tackles gone in the set. Pops it short now to Utwa Kamanu. Surges forward, 30 metres out from the goal line now. Right-hand side of the field, Jerome Hughes on the last, hangs it high in the air. Will Warbrick racing through. Can he get on the end of it? Oh, they let the ball bounce. It bounces down towards the goal line. And Keanu Kinney does well to leap high, get his feet planted, and get to the ground without being pushed out over the goal line. The Storm will start this defensive set from the Titans' goal line. 18 points apiece, 4.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I thought Jerome Hughes was going to take a shot there with just over 4 minutes to go. Sorry, but he got the next option. That's turning the ball over a metre out from the Titans line.
Ball thrown off to the left by the Gold Coast Titans up towards the 30-metre line. 15 in from touch on the left. They've already gone through 4 tackles of this set and haven't got past the 30-metre line yet. Now going through the hands away to the right into Kinney. Kinney jinking back in field, trying to find some space on the last tackle. 35 metres out from the Titans goal line. They go down the short side onto Harrison. He kicks downfield, hangs it high in the air. Fowlongo will collect it just outside the 10 and start that run forward. Sort of limping earlier, but he looks sharp out there. However, he's pretty isolated, takes the tackle. 15 in from touch, left-hand side, just shy of the 20-metre line. Just under 4 minutes to go. 18 points all here. Cracking finish coming up, the final match of the round in the NRL. Here at Amy Park tonight on the ABC. Ned Hall, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen with you. Ball thrown back into Will Warbrick in centre field. He surges straight down the middle, stopped just short of the 40-metre line. Harry Grant in at dummy half. 3 tackles gone in the set. Now it's on to King. King just shy of halfway before he's brought down. Grant at dummy half goes to Hughes through the hands into Wishart. Wishart pops it on now towards half. That's a good tackle, wrapping him up straight around the legs and dropping him onto the ground. On the last, Jerome Hughes puts the kick up, hangs it high in the air. Kinney goes up, takes it cleanly. Half challenged as he ran through from
Stay here, sir. Wait.
Done touchdown from Tyron Wishart. Playing the ball just short of the 20-metre line, the Gold Coast Titans, 18 points apiece.
Yeah, does Jerome Hughes know that the scores are even in less than 5 minutes to go? There's been a couple of opportunities. They even looked to look for a field goal once, the Melbourne Storm. I would have thought they could have had at least 3 chances. They just keep bombing the ball up. They want to, if they get a chance to win this game in normal time, you win it in normal time.
Had most of the field position as well in this last 5 minutes or so down that end of the ground, whereas the Titans have been struggling to get up towards halfway. 4 tackles through the set. They're moving it through the hands away to the left now. Pop back in field, in towards elusive running here. Campbell pops on, he goes to Morin. Morin brought down on the halfway line, but that is the 5th tackle. Going left to Harrison. Harrison with the kick. Hangs it high in the air. Warbrick underneath it on the 20-metre line, throws it back, long pass into centre field towards Farlongo. He's got options to his left, but he sprints across field, gets past the first defender. They've got a gap here with Wishart. Back in field to Farlongo. Farlongo through 1 tackle, keeps it alive, goes through the hands to McDonald. McDonald might take the tackle here on halfway. It'd be sensible to do that because there wasn't a lot of movement around him. That's a great start to the set from the Melbourne Storm. Quick thinking, quick hands, moving it right once again, and through the gap, Meany out wide to the right touchline. Warbrick cuts in field, still going the Melbourne Storm, keeping it alive, now taking the tackle, now sprinting on towards the line, burrowing close is Joe Chan. He's brought down centimetres short of the line, trying to pick up and go here is Nick Meany. Does he get the ball down? He thinks he does. He fell in towards on his back and then rolled the ball over and plants it, and that might be the try that wins the game for the Melbourne Storm, all based on a great start to the set from deep inside their own half. Finally they took the ball on an open play, burst down the left, and when play spread back out to the right hand side, eventually Nick Meany was there to finish it all off and burrow over the line after some good effort from Joe Chan.
I tell you what, they can leave their run late, the Melbourne Storm. It was a very shallow kick by Zane Harrison from the Titans, which allowed the Melbourne Storm to play a bit of football on the kick return. They spread it left. Farlongo did a really good job. Did a good job by Alan McDonald just taking the tackle, allowing it to get to the next one. They swing it right. Joe Chan did well, got a quick play the ball. Nick Meany had a heap of work from dummy half, gets the ball over the line. That's the football game.
Wow, not the biggest crowd in here tonight, Ian Cohen, but that's been wildly celebrated by plenty of Melbourne Storm fans who've enjoyed that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got up and off their plastic. The precipitation is gently coming down now. It might have timed its run, but yeah, that'll be Melbourne Storm fans will be going home happy for a Sunday evening.
Well, just watching that try again, by the way, Joe Chan, his run forward, it looked like he'd been wrapped up by Tino Fasumalaro, just somehow managed to step out of the tackle. He let go of him, and Joe Chan managed to surge back away towards the line, but that was great play then for the Melbourne Storm all the way throughout, keeping that ball alive. I think you've been frustrated tonight, Hoppy, by sometimes Melbourne haven't really looked at the wider options, they've been a bit predictable, haven't really looked out wide, and then on that occasion they suddenly opened things up, and it pays dividends.
Yeah, they look pedestrian at stages, but look, when they needed it most in the last minute, they spread the ball wide and got the rewards.
22-18 their lead. Nick Meany, the try scorer, to try and add the extras from out near the right-hand touchline. Doesn't like he struck that all that well. It's just dropped shy of the crossbar, and so it's a 4-point lead, but that's it. 14 seconds left on the clock for the Gold Coast Titans, so they're going to have to try and regather the ball off the kickoff and go over and score from there. Otherwise, it's the Melbourne Storm who are picking up the 2 points, a hard-earned 2 points. It's been tonight at Amy Park as well. Jaden Campbell with the kickoff. Players lining up to the right for the Gold Coast Titans. 22-18 the score, 14 seconds on the clock. Waiting for the TV director to give them the all clear to get this underway, which at a pivotal stage of the match isn't ideal. Obviously, short kick-off out towards the right-hand touchline. It's been regained by Fafita, so the Titans do have a chance. Fodawaker through the hands. They move it to the left from Randall. Oh, it's thrown in behind AJ Brimson. That's a poor ball out there. He has to bat it back just to keep it in field, and it's dived on the right-hand touchline by Will Warbrick. And the Melbourne Storm do secure their win. They gave themselves the slimmest of lifelines at the end then, the Gold Coast Titans, but just couldn't keep the ball in hand. And and it's Melbourne Storm who do seal the victory. It's been a tight one. They've had to fight hard for it, and it went right down to the wire. But a Nick Meaney try has done the job for Melbourne. They pick up the win by 22 points to 18, and that's one win chalked off that they need if they're going to play finals football this season.
It certainly is. Look, they don't need to win pretty, to be quite honest. For the Melbourne Storm, who cares how they win? They just need 2 points, and that's what they got. Very spirited performance there from the Gold Coast Titans. They threw absolutely everything at the Melbourne Storm right into the final whistle, but in the end there was just one lapse of communication in the Titans defence, which allowed the Melbourne Storm to get away on a kick return, and that was the ball game.
Well, that's like a big breath after that, Melbourne, because they really let the Titans back in that second half. As we were saying, the Titans really no pressure on them the way they're playing. They can really push forward and do what they want out there without the expectation of getting results. Just seen a nice moment out there as well with the referee Tyson Bruff having his photo taken with his officials out on the field, Phil Henderson and Matt Neuer, and with the match ball after completing his first match here, and a few handshakes as well for especially the Titans players who may well know him from around Queensland Cup duties, where he's an experienced referee. Well, he's chalked one off now, his first match in the NRL for the evening. Ian Cohen's down there on the field. We'll get some reaction for us here. We've got about 26 minutes left before we're departing for the evening, but yeah, Melbourne Storm, that's maybe the sort of match that this year, when they've been dragged back into these close ones, that they haven't gone on to get the win in.
Yeah, that's it. As I said, they've had performances like this in the year where they've sort of been blown away, or they let the momentum get a bit too much for them. But they managed to wrestle it back, which was impressive. And look, I thought they were blowing their opportunities a couple of times, but that's the reason he's a halfback. He knows more than we, because he knew they had to try.
Well, yeah, Jerome Hughes obviously back into the side tonight. Maybe need to get a few cobwebs out of the system before firing on all cylinders over the remaining 8 matches or 8 rounds of the season that the Melbourne Storm are playing in here. So, yeah, good win for the Melbourne Storm tonight to jump back into the winners' enclosures. As I say, a frustrating defeat for them last time out. Obviously the bye last week, but to go on and win this match here by 22 points to 18 tonight. Tries from Will Warbrick, Jack Howarth, Alec McDonald and Nick Meaney, and 3 from 4 for Nick Meaney. And we can cross down now to Ian Cohen out of the field.
Yeah, we're here with Tino. You know how hard Melbourne Storm is. You know, it's an 80-minute game, and in the end, obviously, Storm just came through, but Titans were enormous tonight.
Yeah, no, we were just. Sorry. I just probably a lot of errors. Probably hurt us in the end there, but there's a lot of fight from the boys. I'm really proud of this team. Real frustrated with the win. Obviously, it hurts. It's fresh and it's raw right now, but really proud of the boys' efforts. We gave it to them, and just all the way to the last minute, really. So, yeah, that hurts, but we'll keep building from that and make sure that we get our game right.
You must have been very happy with the intent and the attitude that the Titans went out with.
Yeah, no. I was happy with the intent and attitude, like you said. The boys have been turning out weekly like that. Just got to have fun a little bit more at the end there to get the win.
What about some of your youngsters obviously out there as well? We saw young Jaden as well with a 90-metre run. What about some of your young ones coming through?
Yeah, no, they're going good. They're learning. They're finding into the culture that we're forming, and I'm really proud of the young boys, and hopefully we keep building from this, and we need to start winning.
Thanks, Tino.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Good stuff, Ian Cohen, and good stuff from Tino Foster-Malawi. He's had a tough week as well as a Queenslander, a Queensland origin player, and then to come down here for the Gold Coast Titans and to find themselves pipped at the death after a really tough performance from his team tonight. Not easy to do.
Yeah, he was proud of his performance and of the team performance, and I think it really should be. I suppose the growth for the Titans is to turn these into victories. And look, they've been in quite a few games this year, but it's, I suppose, the evolution under a new coach just to be able to close those games out.
I think we can go down to Ian Cohen now, who's down there with the match winner.
Yeah, indeed, Nick Meaney, back from injury, obviously, couple of tries, got it over the black dot a few times. He'd be pretty happy with the game.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of a tough one. They're a good side. They've got a lot of good players, a lot of fast players, so they really worked over our middle there, made it hard on us, but in these conditions, I thought we held the ball pretty good, and got the win in the end.
It was a bit rainy and a bit damp to begin with, obviously. How does that change the game for you?
Yeah, I think you just got to simplify everything. We've got a lot of talent in the team, but when it's wet and it's a bit like this. I think you just really got to hone it back and just play the simple game and work through the middle. I thought we did that pretty good. The credit to them, they're a really good side and really tested us tonight.
What about you, back from injury? How's the body holding up?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I got crook in the break, so I wasn't able to get too much rehab in, so I've come in pretty fresh to it all. My legs are a little bit heavy, but as you can probably tell there with that last goal, I don't think it made the distance, but it's just good to get 80 in, and the calf pulled up sweet, so on to next week.
And to get on the end of a few as well to score?
Yeah, no, that's cool. Pretty lucky we needed that one in the end, but credit to all the boys.
Well, credit to the boys, but you actually did it. Was there any talk of a field goal shot? I mean, as the clock was ticking down?
Yeah, not really. I think we just needed to really get that field possession back. They did a really good job working us over and getting down the field, and I think we're just trying to get up back to their end, and maybe that would have been the conversation for the spine to have, but I think we had made that little break down the sideline, and then I come up with a little try, but I think we just stick to the game plan really and see what happens.
Well done on your return.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Good stuff. Ian Cohen down there with Nick Meaney, and you can see he's just pleased to have got through the time down. As you mentioned before, Hoffy, one of the issues they've had is losing players in key positions, and just that. I know Matthew Elliott always talks about continuity, and guys like Nick Meaney out there, really important for the Melbourne Storm. His goal kicking out there and the experience that he has in the centre. If he's in and out of the team, it does hurt them.
Yeah, 100%. And he's such a good defensive winger. Defensive centre. Like, he reads the play really well. There was a great battle between him and AJ Brimson today, and I think you saw a very simple try for the Titans happen on the Melbourne Storm's left edge for the lack of communication between Howarth and Tuimalautu Brown, and that just shows the combinations that the Melbourne Storm has struggled to maintain. But one thing they have had throughout most of the year has been Meaney and Will Warbrick, and they look really strong there.
Yeah, absolutely, and looking to get more games under their belt together as well. And Ian Cohen doing a mountain of work down on the field as well. He's got one of the debutants down there with him, Ian.
I'm looking at a man who's got written across his chest, Darren Keeley, Melbourne Storm debut, round 19 versus Gold Coast, and he's also got a smile on his face. What's it like being in purple?
Yeah, dream come true. I've got a smile on my face because we got the 2 points, and we really needed that. But yeah, I'm very, very grateful.
Talk to us about the transition, obviously, coming down to Melbourne. You spoke about the fact that you've been doing a fair bit of work with Ali Katoa as well down here. What's it been like for the week? I suppose you've been down here and the family down here as well.
Yeah, great week. Ellie's been awesome. Like I said in my interview, like Valu right here, he's injured, but everyone's input, just it's overwhelming how nice it's been for me and my family. I'm just grateful to be here. I made my decision pretty early to come down to this club for a reason, and I'm just grateful I'm here now. I'm grateful that the Dolphins let that happen, and just keep working and keep getting better.
It did work well in your favour, obviously, because you're already going to be here for 27, 28. Mentally for you, how much of a difference has it made that you've now got this opportunity too?
Yeah, like what you just said there, the mental side, the unknown of when I was going to be here, because it was always a possibility, but now that it's happened, I think it's just, me getting to work and getting better at my craft, and learning off the greats here. I'm only young, and I just want to keep learning. I'm going to soak up everything that all these great players can teach me, and even the coaching staff, and just keep getting better, man. Just trying to chase that.
And what was your perception of Storm as an outside player and now being on the inside?
Yeah, they just chase, greatness and everything you do, and there's no excuse. And I think I try and chase that every day, and I try and, create good habits so I can play well on the footy field. And it's nothing, I expected what was going to be here, but the whole club, the best people, so connected and united, and it's not us just playing out here on the footy field, it's everyone else, making it all happen for us. And I think that's a big thing, and the gratitude that all the players show to everyone in the club. It's not possible without everyone, And
what about the winter woolies? The rain didn't quite come tonight, but fairly chilly conditions.
Yeah, there was I think 15 to go, and I seen the rain coming. I went, oh, here we go. Cold, but it's a tough place to come and play, and that footy match just went down to the last minute. So if we keep that attitude and want to stay in the grind and stay like that, will be hard to beat.
Congratulations, you 1 from 1.
Thank you, mate.
Great stuff, Ian Cohen. Koza, feel free to come back up now and get yourself warmed up as well. Big effort from you down there. We're going to go through the rest of the round and the weekend and everything else that's been happening as well. But what a good chat that was with Oren Keeley. And you can probably hear right there why Craig Bellamy would have wanted him at this football club as well, just in his attitude to the game and the club and to himself.
Yeah, what I'd like to hear from him is that he's so willing to learn. He's coming down, he wants to get better, he wants to become a better footballer, and he saw that the Melbourne Storm could be the place for that. And obviously, Eli Katoa, he's showing his value, even though he can't be on the field for the Melbourne Storm. He's proving invaluable off the field and working hard and keeping the boys connected, especially Oren Keeley. He's a bit of that utility player, but the Melbourne Storm brought him down there to help fill up some gaps in the back row. So having a bloke like Eli Katoa, who I thought was the best second rower in the comp last year, having him on your side is certainly going to be a massive help for him in the transition.
So, as I say, we're going to go through the rest of the round and also where the ladder's up to as well. But we might go through and see what happened earlier on this afternoon, because obviously 2 other matches today off the back of State of Origin, a 3-game Sunday, which is always good to see. And we'll start off at Stadium Australia, where it was the world's biggest birthday party. Great chat pre-game with Jai Arrow, Andrew Moore and the team, catching up with him, which if you did miss, you can catch up with it in the ABC NRL Daily podcast feed. It's in there, and I'll give you all the fundraising details for Jai Arrow in a little bit too. But on the footballing side of things, it was South Sydney who came out on top against the Knights, and it was watched for us by Luke Lewis and Andrew Moore.
Yeah, Ned, an absolute thriller on a really moving day at Stadium Australia. Jai Arrow's birthday. There's a crowd of 31,113 to celebrate with him. We had him in the broadcast box after 1 o'clock. It was one of the more moving experiences I've ever had in 40 years of radio, with his positivity and his wife Verena and daughter Isla. It was unreal. Then we're joined by the Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field, and apart from offering Louis a temporary gig as the Purple Wiggle, they performed at half-time, much to the entertainment of the crowd, and the game was just as entertaining, incredibly. South scored 5 tries to 4. Newcastle had try after try disallowed in the first half, and South all of a sudden led by 20 points to 6 at the break after they scored 4 tries. And in the end, from the 69th minute to the 76th minute, Newcastle scored 3 tries. It was game on, but South Sydney just held on 26-24. Louis, it was great fun to watch. And that last 10 minutes, Newcastle, they had a frustrating day all round. They'll be feeling a bit slighted they didn't go on and win it.
Oh, absolutely. Look, it was a really good game of football, enjoyable. There was so much going on. South Sydney looked really, really good. I thought they did everything right up until the last 10 and a half minutes. And then all of a sudden, Callum Ponga turned it on. A couple of boys were running hard and direct. They were throwing dummies, they were falling. But I'll put that down to pure fatigue. They had a few injuries, South Sydney, and they just didn't have the interchange to cover it all. But they had to hang in there. They got the job done. But I reckon Newcastle will look back on this game and they will go, it's a game that got away from them, and they'll create a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't get it right.
A couple of kind of the senior big names for South really stood up today. David Fafita and Brandon Smith had a blinder.
Absolutely. I thought, look, Brandon Smith's been building to some really good games. He's been playing some good football for him over the last couple of weeks, and I thought today was his best game, and I thought David Fafita looks damaging on that right edge. The way that he carries that ball, he was a man on a mission today, and his defence was really, really good too. And one thing I've always been a bit critical of David Fafita is his second efforts, but today his second efforts were outstanding.
Yeah, they were. Look, it's 2 top 8 teams. South had hit a bit of a lull, so this was really important for them. And they had injuries all around the paddock. I mean, that's a heck of a victory.
It's a massive victory. Had a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on. Not everyone out in the park. Had a couple of weird changes when I seen Gray come onto the wing. It didn't. I've never seen him play on the wing, but executed that role really well. But they got the job done. They played good football and scored some really nice tries.
All right, good job, Louis. I'll catch you next week. So yeah, South 26, Newcastle 24, and Luke gave 3 points to Brandon Smith in the ABC Player of the Year, 2 to David Fafita, and 1 to Matt Duffy. As we stand with Jai Arrow on this Sunday, his birthday, the Rabbitohs do as well, Ned, winning 26-24.
Good stuff, Andrew, and obviously you can catch Andrew on Monday night, NRL Monday, coming up to wrap up all the rest of the weekend action. And of course it was a big day for Jai Arrow today at Stadium Australia. Very emotional for all of the South Sydney players who will be delighted to have got the win for him on that day, and particularly their captain Cam Murray. And after the match he caught up for a chat with our own John Gibbs.
Cam Murray, the skipper of South Sydney, with me. Cam, an incredible week for you Wednesday night, and this is pretty exciting as well this afternoon.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. It's hard to put into words, mate. It's the roller coaster of rugby league. You know, it's you just got to enjoy the good moments when they come, and you know, it's been a good couple of days for us, and I'm really happy the boys are able to turn up tonight against a dangerous Newcastle side and get the job done, particularly for Jizer on his birthday. It was a very special day for our club and for Jizer.
It got a bit anxious at the end. 26-6 you led with 15 to go, and well, they're coming to get you.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, they're dangerous, you know, if you get caught sleeping, they'll make you pay, and you know, we've probably fell into that trap of you know, maybe celebrating a little bit too early there. So yeah, got a bit close, but yeah, we got 2 points to happy with that.
In fairness, you did have a few injuries, so there was a bit of fatigue setting in as well.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, we only had one change, I think, with 20 minutes to go or something like that. So yeah, it was a big effort from the boys.
And it was a great win. Finally, you mentioned Jai Arrow's, you know, biggest birthday party, the Wiggles at half time. It's been a fantastic afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable, mate. It's yeah, really special, and happy that the boys are able to get it done for Jai, and everyone turned out today to share the love with him. I'm sure he's feeling it all. So yeah, just happy that we're able to get the result.
Always appreciate your time. Thanks, Cam.
Thank you. Thanks.
Great stuff to hear from Cam Murray after that win for South Sydney earlier on. And as I say, if you are wanting to donate as well to the world's biggest birthday party, you can buy a special birthday hat by going to jaivirtualpartyhat.rabbitohs.com.au. It'll cost you $11.66. Or also make donations at familyofleague.org.au/stand-with-jai, Jai, if you want to get involved there and support an extremely good cause as well. And as I say, you can listen to Jai Arrow's chat with the team earlier on the NRL Daily podcast feed. The second match today went all the way, went to Golden Point, probably apt on the day when 2 World Cup matches went all the way to extra time. Not quite penalty shootouts, but they did go to extra time, and it was Golden Point as well that decided things at Brookvale Oval. Manly against North Queensland was watched by Dean Hallitau and Brett Sprigg.
Ned, it was escape from the Northern Beaches. The Cowboys, who trailed 14-6 at the half, saw it through to an 18-all deadlock after 80 minutes, and then Scott Drinkwater, the hero, with the field goal in the first half of Golden Point. 19-18 the win. It was always going to be a big game for both sides, each with the same win-loss record coming into today. It's the Cowboys who salute first for win number 10 of season 2026, despite the fact they lost 3 of their past 4. They had beaten Penrith before the bye last week, and then they did all the right things in the second half in particular to snatch the win in front of a sellout crowd here at Brookvale, just shy of 17,000 people. 4 tries each, 2 for Braden Burns in that second half. Also tries for Tom Chester and Ruben Cotter, while for the Sea Eagles, Jason Saab scored in either half for the home side, and Hopewadi and Olakau'atu also scored good tries in the first half for Kieran Foran's men, and it was a shaky night for the goal kickers. Both Jamal Fogarty and Jake Clifford had 1 from 4 off the tee, but there was nothing shaky about the Cowboys fullback Scott Drinkwater, who nailed the finish from 35 out in the 82nd minute for a 19-18 win. Dean Hallitau, what impressed you most from a Cowboys point of view?
Oh, just their ability to fight, stay in the game. We know that they've got so much attack in them, and any team that's got Scott Drinkwater in them knows they can score points if they need it. They scrambled really well to get those points late, but to keep themselves in the game through their defensive efforts. I know if Jamal Fogarty kicks those goals, maybe you feel a bit different. It takes the wind out of your sails when you look up and the score's a bit further away, but they certainly hung in there. And then once it went to extra time, the fact that they'd wrestled back the momentum, they looked like they were going to get down the other end of the field, score points through whatever means necessary, and it was a Scott Drinkwater drop goal.
Kieran Foran has lamented his side's lack of consistency across the past several weeks. They've not had back-to-back wins since around 12. This was actually North Queensland's first run of consecutive wins since round 12. They go back inside the top 8 for the first time since round 12 as well. What kind of damage can the Cowboys do?
I think they're going to go deep into the finals, to be honest with you. They've been there a few times over the last few years, obviously, and probably got bundled out through just a lack of energy. They've just sort of just faded away as the season and the finals fixtures have carried on. So I think they can go deep, and like I said, it's their attack that really gets me excited. They can score points, and they've got so much strike out wide.
So Manly, who lost Ben Trbojevic to an HIA and Corey Waddell to an ankle injury in the first half as well. Their 1,000th win goes begging, Ned, and next up They'll be away to the Gold Coast Titans at Robina in the Sunday 2 o'clock game, while the Cowboys are away against the Dolphins at Lang Park. That's the 4 o'clock game next Sunday as well in round 20. But here it was a spirited and very tight win for Todd Payten's men. 19 points to 18 in Golden Point at Brookvale.
Good stuff, Spriggy. Well, here at Amy Park, Melbourne Storm did wrap up their 500th win in the NRL. 22 points to 18 against the Gold Coast Titans. And I know I've left this until the back end as well, Hoffy, just to throw you into action here for your 3-2-1 for the ABC Player of the Year points.
Yeah, I'll start with one. Nick Meaney, I thought he defended brilliantly for the Melbourne Storm, going up against AJ Brimson, who did look dangerous. I thought he defended him quite well, and then obviously scored the match winner. 2 points, Jaden Campbell. He was dangerous right from the first set where he took the line on. He looked dangerous against the Melbourne Storm, and obviously he scored a crucial intercept 100-metre try. But 3 points had to go to Trent Liero. That bloke played 80 minutes. I should have looked up his stats, but he played 80 minutes off the back of playing State of Origin on Wednesday night. He had an absolutely tremendous game. I thought he ran strongly, defended strongly. Here you go, brought it up. 18 carries, 130 metres, go inside with 38 tackles and no misses. I mean, that's pretty good from a young player just playing in his second Origin series to be able to back up like that and play a crucial role for his team. That was a huge effort by young Trent Liero.
Good stuff. So 3 to Trent Liero, 2 to Jaden Campbell, and 1 to Nick Meaney. And he was on it from the very kick-off, Trent Liero as well. He looked fired up from the very first moment. Some great clashes with Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, his Queensland Origin teammate. Some other good numbers as well from around that Melbourne Storm team. A lot of people running over 100 metres. Farlonga 171, Will Warbrick 158. Both centres ran 120-odd metres. And you also get 125 metres ran by Cooper Clark, who did some good bullocking runs in the match as well. But Melbourne Storm getting the victory here, getting the 2 points, and a couple of the SMSs coming in as well, asking for the table as it stands. And so the table at the moment after the end of round 19. Penrith Panthers top the table on 32 points, 4 points clear of the Warriors in second on 28, the Roosters in third also on 28, and the Sharks round out the top 4 on 26 on point difference from the Newcastle Knights also on 26. Then South Sydney in 6th place on the ladder on 24 points, the Dolphins on 24 in 7th, and the Cowboys jumping over Manly into 8th position, the coveted finals position on 24 points. Manly on 22. The Melbourne Storm are on 20 points now, with the Bulldogs in 11th on 20 as well, having played a game less, but their points difference is much, much worse than Melbourne's. Elsewhere, the Raiders then in 12th on 18 points, the Tigers in 13th on 18 points, the Broncos in 14th on 16 points, same as the Eels in 15th on 16 points, the Titans on 14 points in 16th, and the Dragons bringing up the rear. 2 points this weekend though for them, having had the bye. They are on 10 points. Still to come then next week in the NRL. The scores, I'll run through the scores from this week in a moment's time, but we'll start next week quickly. On Thursday night, it's the Panthers taking on the Broncos. Cracking game to look forward to at Western Sydney Stadium with Andrew Moore, the team, on Thursday. Friday night starts at Shark Park. This is now a big match too. The Cronulla Sharks against the Newcastle Knights getting underway at 6 o'clock. That's fourth versus fifth. The Roosters against the Storm on Friday night at the Football Stadium. That's quite a Friday night double-header to look forward to in round 20. Saturday afternoon, it is the Raiders taking on the Rabbitohs in the nation's capital, a 3 p.m. start there. Then the Warriors take on the Dragons over at Mount Smart Stadium. Saturday night game, it's the Bulldogs against the Wests Tigers. The Titans, they play Manly Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then it's the Dolphins against the Cowboys to round off round 20 in the NRL. The bye goes to the Parramatta Eels. And just a reminder then, what you've missed over this weekend, some very interesting games and a few blowouts in the early part of the round. The Tigers on Friday night lost 32-6 at Campbelltown against the Warriors. The Sharks smashed the Dolphins 66-0.